Shabbat Shalom Mishpacha. This is Rabbi Simon. Good morning to you all, and good afternoon and good evening across the pond, across the east. I wish you all a great day today. It is a Sabbath in the Hebrew calendar, Hebrew history. So we are here with some beautiful teachings and some beautiful testimonies, and we give thanks to the God of glory, the God of Israel. We give Him thanks, who is known in the Bible as Abba Yahweh and as Master Yehoshua. We give Him thanks. We give Him thanks for giving us understanding, giving us methods, ways to live our life and to be free of the shackles of religions, people, systems that people have, so that we can live our lives freely. And so before I begin, I want to give a little testimony, and then I will give you the joke of the day. The testimony is this, that I spoke with one of our listeners. I believe they're over there in Arizona somewhere, and this was about a month ago. I think I was out of town. I think I was in Costco, shopping in Costco somewhere in Mobile, Alabama, and I was contacted by this person, and they told me that their mother, who was elderly, had C. diff, and the C. diff virus infection. Some of you know who work in hospitals, the C. diff virus, when someone acquires it, it is pretty hard. It can drain a person, it can make you debilitated, it can cause all sorts of other problems with your organs. It can actually break down your organs and kill you. So she was very worried about her mom, and I told her, I said, why don't you change the situation? Change your view. And she asked me, what I meant by change the view. I said, well, she said, my mother is, I think she's over 90 years old. And I said that, she said, I can't speak to her. If I need to say something to her, to believe, I can't speak to her because there's too many people around, my brothers and sisters. They don't think much of me. They don't respect me as much. And, she was afraid of being a laughing stock with everybody else around her. So I said to her, you don't need to speak to your mother. I said, why don't you do it for your mother? Why don't you change the view? I said, you do a revision technique. I said, here's the revision technique. You see your mother completely whole and healthy. And you're going to see this happening in your mind's eye. And you're going to practice this every day, and you're going to project it onto your mother. Your mother is going to be completely whole and healthy. And she's going to have absolutely no problem. Her C. diff is completely healed. She said, okay, Rabbi, I will definitely give that a try. And I said, you basically hear, in your mind, you're going to hear every day your family congratulating, saying, what a great miracle just happened with the mother. She just got healed. And she said, okay, I will definitely try that. And so I left her. I was standing in Costco car park when I was making a call to her. I especially came out, made a call to her in Costco car park in Mobile, Alabama. And then I left her, and she sent me an email a couple of days back, and she gave testimony that her mother is completely healed. Baruch Hashem Yahweh for that. Baruch Hashem, Master Jesus, that she's completely healed. She has no C. diff virus, and her health is improving and improving. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The power of the method that I've been teaching. It is here to be used. And there's probably going to be a lot of other testimonies coming in the works, but I can tell you this much, that if you half apply my method seriously that I've taught you, you will make wonderful, wonderful gains in your life, and you will have a happy, happy life. And I'm very surprised when I hear from people and they think that what I teach is magic. When they don't realize, when they read the Bible, half of what they read in the Bible is also magic. You never question it. Blindly you read stuff in the Bible. You think, oh, this is okay. Yeah, parting the Red Sea. That's not magic, right? Elijah flying. That's not magic. And then you have, Elijah going from one destination to another. The prophet Ezekiel going from Babylon to Israel. Well, that's not magic at all, right? He just, he just did a Scotty, like he's in his starship, he's in the starship and he gets beamed over from Babylon to Israel. And that's not magic. You see how stupid people can be? They don't question what is in the Bible. They don't question what is this stuff. How did this magic just happen? Oh, God just took him from point A and beamed me up. Scotty took him to point B. I think we need to stop being stupid about these things now, and we need to start realizing that the Bible is full of incidents that can be classified as nothing short of magic. Not miracle, magic. Because this is what we call magic in our world today. Somebody conjures up a pigeon, oh, it's magic, and somebody tells you that this is the way you can heal, this is the way you can get rich, oh, that's magic. Should I do this, Rabbi? Should I not do this? There's all these ethical questions that suddenly pop up like it's some kind of mumbo jumbo. But that's not the case. You got to take these things seriously. This is not magic. This is you requesting access to God and performing that which you have requested access to, and God has given it to you. It is within you. You can do that. So this is not magic, it's reality. So reality is very important. So with that, I'm going to do the joke, and I'm going to, this lecture today is all about freeing. All about freeing from the shackles of religion. And the Parsha is, the Parsha today is Mishpatim. Basically means judgment or justice. And we are talking about justice over here. What is justice? What is true justice? True justice is that you have a life free and you have the opportunities in your life to do the things that you desire to do. That is true justice in any nation. Any nation you live in that shackles you with systems so that you don't succeed is not exactly classified as justice. But in a nation where you are not forced into some shackled system, but you're able to do business, you're able to purchase your property, you're able to do the things that you desire, then that is good, just nation to live in. America is one of those nations where we live, where you are allowed to practice your faith, you're allowed to practice your, you can get college degrees, you can go to university, you can set up a business, you can buy a home. All these things are possible here. All these things are possible in Europe, where my former home is and family is. So these things are in the realms of possibility. Now all you have to do is to prove me wrong is go over to Dubai or go over to some Arab country, and guess what? You're not allowed to do any of this stuff. You're not allowed to buy your home. You're not allowed to buy your business in your name. You have to find an Arab guy and put it in his name. By the way, that is reality 101. See, a lot of people don't realize that. And if you go over to China, China is not so far away, a communist country, and you will realize that freedom is just that, a byword. Freedom is everything that you do is watched by the state. And you might say, well, they're watching us over here. It doesn't matter, because they're not shackling you over here with, state dogma. So there's a difference, being in North Korea and being in America is two sides of the coin. Think about it. A communist nation and a non-communist nation. So give thanks every day for your life. Give thanks where you are. Give thanks to God that you're free. And today you're even going to be more freer. More freer. And Rabbi Kefa says that indeed my family realizes this, because his family didn't come from the lower classes. They came from the upper echelon of society in China. And even they realize that America is totally different from China's system. So with that, let's go and just quickly look at our joke of the day. Here we have an elderly woman who walks into a local church, and the usher over there is very friendly. He opens the door and greets her in, and she comes in and she'd like to sit down somewhere. And so he asks her politely, where would you like to sit, ma'am? And she says, front row please. And he says, you don't really want to do that. The pastor is really boring. And then the woman goes, do you happen to know who I am? The usher goes, no. And then she said, I'm the pastor's mother. And then the usher is quiet down. And then he goes, do you know who I am? And she goes, no. He says, good. So here we have it, and we should continue from here. Now, in our vocabulary, we are used to using many different words. And one of the words that we love to use is a word spend. You know, we go out into the supermarket, we pay a bill, and we say, hey, I spent $50 today. Hey, I went to Walmart and I spent $30 today, etc. So one of these words is we need to be very careful, is that we shouldn't use words in such a way, because they mean that you're exhausting yourself, you're exhausting your finances. And this is not me teaching you this. This was spoken about by another Reverend Ike, I believe. He also spoke about this years ago, and you could probably go capture his lessons if you want. And in one of his lectures, he even stated the same thing, that never use the word spend. Now, the word spend, he obviously didn't go into the details. I'll go into the details of it. The details are this, that when you use words, because words have power, I've always taught about words and their power and their meaning. This is nothing new in my vocabulary. So when you use word spend, change it to circulate. So when you go to Walmart, like I went to Walmart, say Thursday, and I circulated $30. I purchased items for $30, and I come back and I say I circulated $300. Well, I didn't exactly circulate $300. I circulated 30. So what you do, you append a zero to it. You append a zero and you say I circulated $300 at Walmart. So you use the word circulated, because when you circulate, the money will always come back around to you. This is what infinite abundance is about. Infinite abundance is how you use your vocabulary and how you align yourself with the universe to benefit yourself. So when you go and you circulate some amount of money, that money is always going to come back to you. Why? Because you're circulating it. Look, you paid the local government an energy bill. You paid an energy bill, $200, $300 energy bill, and what happens, employees that work at the firm, they get paid by that money. These employees, you might be working at Walmart. These employees go to Walmart and they purchase their groceries. And so now they have now used that money that they received as salaries, and they have now, circulated that salary, part of that salary in Walmart. Guess what? Guess who works at Walmart? Guess who just paid his energy bill? You. So if you paid your energy bill and you work at Walmart, guess where the money is going to go to? It circulates from that person. Walmart's boss pays you. Now the money comes into your pocket. You again at the end of the month, you pay your energy bill. They come to Walmart. The circle continues. That is called circulation. So remember, your vocabulary needs to change. Instead of saying, I spent such and such, which connotes exhaustion at some point, you say, I circulated X amount of money. And then you can append a zero. And you can make it sound bigger than it is. I mean, you're not going around telling everybody, but this is with yourself. You're speaking to yourself. You are telling yourself that. I'm not telling you to go around telling lies to people where you have circulated $30 and say I've circulated $300. No. The idea is that you keep this to yourself. You're telling yourself, I have circulated X amount of dollars today. That is if you have. You don't need to go around telling everybody if you haven't. And if you want to be absolute honest, you can do that. But remember one thing. Facts can be altered and facts can be changed. So facts can be altered, facts can be changed. Now, it is very important to understand that point, that everything we have today, although we say this fact and that fact, but everything is alterable, because we have the I am within us. We have the kingdom within us. And that kingdom, by the way, mostly Rabbi Kefa, is that they are opinions of men. Facts are just opinions of men, but there are certain absolute truths and there are certain just simple facts. And what they call facts. You see, what used to be fact 20 years ago, I remember, what used to be fact 20 years ago is no longer fact. So facts, yes, mostly are opinions. Like they may say to you, 20 years ago, I remember in the I mean, I used to hear this when I was in my 20s. I used to hear that they used to say in the 50s, smoking is good for you. They used to actually teach people that smoking is good for you in the 50s. That was a fact of the 50s. Guess what happens in the 80s and the 90s? In the 90s and the 2000s, that fact became a fiction. Then it was like smoking is not good for you. Do not put, these things on the labels. Do not, label the cigarettes. Then all this came in. What happened to the facts? The facts suddenly became fiction. So beware. Facts. And I don't care what fact you have in your life. I don't care how strong it is. I don't care if your mama said it, your granddaddy said it. Every fact can be altered. You have the power to alter any fact by a process called revision. And that's a process that I teach my students who have, certain issues in their life, family issues, and they want to revise the situation. I will probably give you a testimony another time, but there is something I did very powerful yesterday. Something I did very, very powerful yesterday with a friend, a colleague of mine that I actually worked with in London. He still works in London. He contacted me yesterday, and he was my team leader. Great guy. He's Indian. He's from India. He's Sikh, and we had great friendship. Still do. And he contacted me and asked me how I was doing, and I spoke to him. And but I will report the results of my and his conversation at another time. But this is not for this session. But know this, that I did something in his life that was so powerful that that's gonna change that family's life entirely. So having said that, let's move on to things that are very, very pertinent. Now I want to give you process. I don't want to just talk about religion, this, and Moses said this and this happened, and if you do it this way, etc. That's fine. We understand that we are free people. We understand that we at one time were enslaved people. Then we became a free people, and we like to remain free. Nobody's going to enslave us any longer. So having said that, because since God made us free, God has given us the opportunity and the choices to be free, we are going to remain a free people. And so, as you know, in North America, I can't imagine people trying to enslave anybody over here, because this is the country of the gun, the country of the rifle and the, M18 and AR-15s over here, they're common. So imagine some country trying to come in and enslave Americans. That's never going to happen. So having said that, let us, remember where we are, and let us remember always that God did not give us a religious dogma. God gave us a method, a way to live. And we must understand everything around that. And because if we don't, then we're going to end up in shackles, because, it's very easy to be shackled by a church doctrine, dogma, other things going on. And many people out there today are using Torah, the instructions of God, to shackle people. You will not find that over here. I do not shackle you. I have given you, I have opened your eyes to many, many truths in the scriptures, which you're not going to find out there, because those men are still searching and running after opinions of men, by the way, opinions of men. I have given you straight from the Hebrew, straight from the Greek, what the actual scriptures teach versus the opinions of men. Because men will teach you this. Men will say to you that on the Sabbath, you're not allowed to make any food. You have to eat your food cold. That's what I heard this for many, many years, by the way, by men. Yes, good sounding rabbis. And these were all opinions. Until one day, there was a time I didn't have a Bible. Then there was a time I had a Bible. So one day I opened the Bible and I read it for myself, and I went back to the Hebrew, and then I kind of retranslated from the Hebrew to the English. Then I reread it in the English. Then I read it in another Bible in my original language where I came from. I had two, original languages. I read it in those languages. Then I looked it up in another language, Arabic as well. And I was like, just shaking my head. When I sort of looked at that, I was like, what is this? And then I purchased the whole of the Babylonian Talmud. Then I purchased the whole of the Mishnah, and I went through that page by page. I used to stand on the platform in London, and I used to be reading my, the book of the Talmud. Everybody was studying the Daily Mail in the London newspapers. And they were all reading page, they were all looking at page 3, bemused, trying to hide their papers in the train. These English people, right? They sit with page 3, the Daily Sun, and the page 3 had the picture of a naked girl, topless girl, and they were all trying to hide that, paper down, having that kind of cheeky kind of look. They don't want people to look. They're looking at page 3 and kind of having a cheeky kind of smile. And I used to be holding my book of the Babylonian Talmud and, studying it. And I used to be standing on the platform at Baker Street and studying it. Wherever you see me in the tube studying it. I was like, that's how I spent my journeys. 2 hours of my journey studying, looking at these things and trying to get opinions of 50,000 rabbis. In the end, the only opinion that mattered was mine, that came straight from the Hebrew Bible. That's the only opinion that mattered, by the way, because I realized that all of those opinions were just that, wrong opinions. So, based on that, you received the revelation, you received the information that, no, God didn't say that you can't warm your food up, and God didn't say that you can't light a fire in your home. God simply said, do not work on the Sabbath, which means do not work, for paid employment. But there are occupations today, police force, doctors, ambulances, fire brigade, these people, army, they have to be employed, they have to be working. So therefore, we can't be so hard and fast about it, because just as today doctors, nurses, these people have to work on the Sabbath and they have to break the Sabbath technically, likewise the priesthood, what did Jesus taught? Jesus said that the priesthood, they actually also worked. They technically also broke the Sabbath, but they were found blameless. So having said that, there are areas where we have to understand this, that this is not as what people teach you out there. Having said that, like I said, this session needs to be less about religion and more about the essence of how to be free, how to be successful, and how to better your lives. Because the Parsha talks about a Hebrew person who wants to be, or who wants to live with his master, who wants to serve a master, and what is the process. This Parsha Mishpatim speaks about that, and I encourage you to go read it for yourselves, because you can find this in the book of Exodus, and you will find this in the chapter 21, verses 1, where it says, now these are the judgments which you shall set before them. If you buy an Abrahu Hebrew servant, he shall serve 6 years, in the 7th he shall go out free and pay nothing. If he comes by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he comes in married, then his wife shall go out with him. So God set certain parameters, certain guidelines for somebody who actually has enslaved himself. In other words, voluntary enslavement. Voluntary, this is not today referred to as in slavery, by the way. This is referred to occupation, and what I would call this, as I had said many years ago, that this is not slavery. This is actually somebody who indentures himself to someone else for 6 years and says, I will work for you for 6 years for X amount of salary, and I will leave after 6 years with whatever I have and whatever you owe me, and then I shall go my merry way. That's basically what this is. This is paid for employment, by the way, paid for employment, not in shackles, not in chains, as we have seen slavery in the nations. This is actually somebody working for a upper echelons, high society, family, and then today you get people working for rich people in their homes as butlers, as maids. So this is that kind of work where somebody said, hey, I'm going to be your butler for 6 years, you're going to pay me X amount of salary, and we're going to close the deal at the end of 6 years, and either I will stay on for the remainder of the term, the remainder of my life. If I really like it, I'm really happy, I'll stay on. If not, I will move on. That's basically a 6-year contract, by the way. This is in the Bible. But a lot of people today will mistake that and say, oh, this is, somebody being enslaved in the Bible. No, look, there's slavery there. So that's not slavery. This is a contractual agreement, and the person is completely free. The person actually has a wife. The person actually has children. Notice that, people don't look at the bigger picture. So, coming back to that, as I said, the idea, the methods I want to present here today are about how you free yourself And as I get to speak to many people, I thought it was pertinent today for me to discuss a method that will help you to free your negativities. And today, this is your real lucky day today, because what I'm going to do is not only that, but I'm going to give you a meditation session today. This meditation session is so very important because I want you to apply this every day. This must be done daily. On first waking up, once you wake up in the morning, you had your tea, you had your coffee, I want you to go through this meditation session. Very, very important. Because when you do this session, this is secret of the billionaires, by the way. This is a billionaire secret that I'm going to give you. How did these people become millionaires and billionaires? They have all done this. Know this. They have all done this. And you're going to learn something right from behind the scenes, which you not hear from other people. So as I'm one of those, esoteric rabbis, as I'm one of those traveling rabbis and rabbis that, rub shoulders with the rich and the famous, I shall give you some real good secrets over here that you can utilize in your life, and you can actually better your lives, and you can better your performance, and you can have high vibration, which means you'll become magnets of attraction. Magnets that will attract money. Magnets that will have good relationships. That's what you're going to be. So, is it magic? Yeah, you can say it's magic. But I tell you, this is the freedom. This is the prosperity that God gave us. And this is the prosperity that Jesus of Nazareth spoke about when he said that I have come that you may have abundance. But when I look at churches, I look at some churches and I find abundance is missing. I find people are shackled in religion, in, our church father said this and you got to do it this way, and this is what it is in churches, unfortunately. So, if you want to call it white magic, you want to call it whatever magic, go ahead, call it whatever you want. But I'm going to tell you something today that's going to change your lives forever. And you're going to thank me one day. You're going to say, this rabbi, he came from out of nowhere and he taught us this and we've never heard of this, and our lives completely revolutionized. And we completely changed. And we are forever grateful to this man who just gave us his free of charge. And this, by the way, this technique is given to people for big dollars. Big dollars, I tell you. And Rabbi Benaiah, maybe he rubs shoulders with the rich people like I have. He will tell you that the rich don't pass their secrets on. They don't go around telling everybody how I got rich. They'll never tell you that. So you're going to get this right over here today, absolutely free on this beautiful Sabbath. But I want you to apply it. Don't just listen to it and forget about it. And, I didn't get time to do this. My mother said this and my dog was, peeing on the floor and I was too busy cleaning his pee. No. Apply the technique daily. Apply it daily and like clockwork. And you will see the benefits and the rewards in your job, in your life, in everything you do. Now there are two. We do understand. As Hebrews, we understand that there are two worlds. And I often refer to these worlds. And I say that we live in a physical world, but we also have a spiritual world. These are our two worlds. I don't talk about, how the spiritual world functions, but in the spiritual world, we are energy. Understand this, we are energy. So, I'm going to align your energy in the spiritual world that you'll become powerful beings. And you'll be able to utilize that in your daily life. And you'll be bettering your lives, you'll be bettering your jobs, bettering your health, bettering your relation. Every area of your life will tremendously increase. And so, let me begin. Let me first deal with the negativities, because I dealt with things, in the home. I dealt with other things. I think now let's start with how to better yourself. Now, remember, when I give you particular days, then this must be followed. I tell you to do it on a Monday and you do it on a Tuesday, not good. If I say Monday, do it on Monday. If I say Thursday, do it on Thursday. Because there is a purpose and a rhyme and a reason I say that. I don't always have time to explain everything because, I don't want to get into long explanations. I want to make it short, simple, sweet. So you take this away and you apply it. This method that I'm giving you next must be applied on a Monday or a Thursday only. And it needs to apply once a month only. And yes, you can do it more than once. You can repeat it monthly, or you can repeat it every few months. That's entirely up to you. This is what you need for this method. This is a special bath, and this bath is bath of abundance. Okay, so before you start this, what you need, the items. The items you can purchase from many regular stores or Amazon. You need Florida water. Florida water, for those of you who don't live in Florida, and when I first came across this, I was like, what the heck is Florida water? Because is it like beach on Florida or something? But no, Florida water is a perfume. It's something that you scent your bath with. So you get this Florida water. You then get next essential oil called neroli, or you can substitute this with jasmine essential oil. You have to then get another essential oil called cinnamon. Cinnamon is something as a spice. You find it in cakes and things and food. Then you need to get yourself 3 big green candles. When I say big candles, they could be about medium-sized green candles. Get yourself 3 mid-sized green candles. Preferably, I suggest a jar so they don't fall all over the place and, kind of have, this wax all over your bathroom, candle wax. And then try to get some rose flower petals. All these things, as I said, are available from Amazon, or they can be purchased from a local store. I know that Walmart has cinnamon, and Walmart doesn't have Florida water, Walmart doesn't have neroli oil, but Walmart does have jasmine essential oil. Other item, Walmart does have green candles, but Walmart doesn't have the rest. So you're going to have to find the rest somewhere else, a health food store, etc. So what I want you to do is go into your bathroom on a Monday night, listen carefully, Monday night or Thursday night. Go into your bathroom quietly. This doesn't need to be discussed with any member of the family. You're going to have your regular bath. You take your items in your bath, you fill your bathtub. You close, you put the plug on. UK, everybody in UK and France got the bath. Every house has a bath over there. Over here, slightly different. Some houses have bathtubs, others don't. If you don't have a bathtub, you can use a bucket or a container. Fill that container with water. So next, you add 2-3 drops from the Florida water into the bath or your container. Neroli, 2 or 3 drops. Cinnamon, 2 or 3 drops. You light your candles. Boom, candles are lit up. Rose petals into the water. Okay, your bathtub water is full. Remember, there is no salt in this one. No salt is involved. So after you do this, there is one more item, and the item I didn't put over here in my notes actually is raw honey. Get yourself raw honey, 1 tablespoon, large tablespoon. Let me write this down over here. 1 tablespoon of raw honey. Now, if you don't have raw honey, I myself, I'm kind of like used to eating brown sugar in the house. Sugar cane sugar, you can use that as a substitute. You can use a sugar cane sugar as a substitute, 1 spoon into your bath. Okay, like I said before, if you don't have a bathtub, all these items go into your container. Okay, you light your candles, boom, your candles are lit up. If you can buy beeswax candles, great. If you cannot buy beeswax, then you can get regular candles. Okay, you're done with putting the cinnamon oil, your bath is nicely filled up, you added your honey or your sugar into it, and if you don't even have both, you can put maple syrup, 1 spoon of maple syrup, add that in there. If you don't have the 2 of the items, maple syrup is a good replacement as well, but not white sugar. Don't think, oh, I can just stick white sugar in there. No, don't do that, because we're talking about natural stuff over here. Maple syrup is natural, sugar cane, sugar is natural, then we have honey is natural. Very important to stick to the instructions. Okay, after that, what you do is you must have a written statement in front of you, because you're going to forget. So write this down. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to look intently into the water. The water is now ready. Container or tub. Water is ready. Look intently into the container. But what you're going to, first, you prime yourself. You're going to say, now this is what you're going to say. I am destined to do great things. I am from a winning family. I am unique. I am free. I am very special. I am a great person. I am abundance. I welcome abundance into my life. I was created to be blessed and live in abundance. Happiness, joy, and prosperity are my normal mode. Money forever circulates freely in my life, and it never runs out. Let me repeat that. I am destined to do great things. I am from a winning family. I am unique. I am very special. I am a great person. I am abundance. I welcome abundance into my life. I was created to be blessed and live in abundance. Happiness, joy and prosperity are my normal mode. Money forever circulates in my life freely and it never runs out. Let me repeat it one more time for those of you who missed it. I am destined to do great things. I am from a winning family. I am unique. I am very special. I am a great person. I am abundance. I welcome abundance into my life. I was created to be blessed and live in abundance. Happiness, joy and prosperity are my normal mode. Money forever circulates in my life freely in my life and it never runs out. So while you're looking at the water, full intention into the water, you're speaking this out. I invoke the authority within me by the heavens above to charge this water with wealth, infinite abundance, my new house, my new car, my new life, infinite love, infinite joy, my dream job, if you desire a dream job, my beautiful husband or beautiful wife, or you may already have a relationship and you might say a wonderful, incredible relationship. I am healthy, disease free, I'm living a healthy life. So you add or remove words that are pertinent to your life. I'm going to say this one more time so that people don't miss it. Again, intently keeping your focus in the water, you're going to say again, I invoke the authority within me by the heavens above to charge this water with wealth, infinite abundance, my new house, my new car, my new life, infinite love, infinite joy, incredible relationships, my dream job, my beautiful wife-to-be or husband-to-be, or if you already have a wife and husband, that incredible relationship with my wife or my husband. I am healthy, disease-free, I'm living a healthy life. So after you've done your additions and deductions, as I said, write these things down and take it into your bath on a piece of paper and read them out. And the candle should be burning at this point. And then you say, then what you need to do is you say, I welcome this, all of this into my life. I welcome favor, I welcome joy, I welcome abundance, I welcome great new relationships. My life is about to change and I welcome it all. You speak all this into the water. Let me repeat the last bit. I welcome this all into my life. I welcome favor, I welcome joy, I welcome abundance, I welcome great new relationships. My life is about to change and I welcome it all. Speak all this into the water. Close your eyes a little bit for a little while. Imagine, before you enter the water, imagine that intently your focus into the water and you've spoken it into the water and you see all these things. You suddenly see in your mind's eye, you see your new car, your new house, your wife or spouse if you're looking for a spouse, or love. You see your new love, and then you take your clothes off, you get into the bathtub, and if it's a bucket, if it's a container, you take your clothes off, you kneel beside it, and then you can slowly pour this water. If it's a container, slowly pour it over you. And if it's a bath, you soak yourself in the bath for 15 minutes. Sit there, imagine all these things, and scoop up the water and put it over you. Continue to keep a smile, keep a happy posture. And then after that, you come out of the bath and do not rub your body with the towel. Just pat yourself, pat your body with the towel, and then wear your clothes, and then you are going to give thanks to God. You come out, you give thanks to God, and you head towards your bedroom and you sleep. No need to discuss this with anybody. What did you do? Why did you do it? Why did you take candles? Why did you take cinnamon? No, none of this should be discussed with anybody. So you just go to bed after that. Now, as I said before, we're going to come back to the house next. This method should be done once a month. One-off, or you can repeat it every other month, or you can, maybe you don't have to repeat it. Maybe you just, do it one-off and you're good with it. Or you can repeat it every month or every few months. Again, there are no stipulations in this method. Only stipulation is that this method must be followed to the letter, and it must be followed on a Monday or a Thursday. Now, What about a lack in a house? So what about the fact that your house is lacking, and you're trying to gain abundance, but you may find that the house, your sugar container is empty. Well, the spouse, if they ask you, Daniel, you can simply tell the spouse that I'm having my regular bath. I, usually like to add some items, and these items are such and such, but you can discuss this with your spouse, provided your spouse is an understanding spouse. Because there are spouses out there that don't want to hear these things. So to keep peace in the home, this is why I say to keep peace in the home, not to be discussed. But if your spouse is understanding, then your spouse should know about it. Then you can tell your spouse. No, there's no colors to wear each day, Daniel. Okay, so how to fix a house with the lack? In other words, if your house is lacking and you're finding that things in the house are running out all the time, and it looks like abundance is 3,000 miles away, it's not there, this is what you do. As I said before in many other sessions, this session I'm explaining it. You take a pack of salt, regular salt, sea salt is good, and pink salt is good, or even Celtic salt, and you take maybe like a handful of salt, you put it in a pouch of cloth, and you bind it, and you do the same with basmati rice, by the way, not some funny looking rice that people sell out there. Either with basmati rice, regular Indian rice, Pakistani Indian basmati, or jasmine rice. You take a handful, you put it into a little pouch, fold it up, make it up nicely. Same with the salt, same with the regular flour, wheat flour, by the way, or you can take spelt. Take spelt or regular wheat flour. Spelt is hopefully no gluten or less gluten. So you take those items and you bind it and you put it on one of your shelves, not to be disturbed. These items generally don't need to be replaced weekly, but they can be replaced yearly. They don't need to be replaced weekly. They don't go off, they will stay. But also there is one more item that I didn't mention in here. Lentils, red lentils. You can get red lentils in most Indian / Pakistani stores. They are called masoor dal. Masoor dal is a item that you can buy, and take a handful of that and then bind it up and put it away. By the way, if you don't know, Jacob ate masoor dal, so go read about it in the book of Genesis. So now the stones that you should have in your home, and these stones, one thing I didn't mention before, but I'll mention today. Get yourself a clear crystal bowl or a regular glass bowl. Must be glass. Cannot be plastic. It cannot be some other funny looking stuff, paper, but it's got to be a regular glass or crystal bowl. In there you should have following stones: carnelian or sardius, emerald, amethyst, citrine, tourmaline, quartz crystal. These should be there in the glass. And quartz crystal, if those big ones, sometimes you get quartz crystal, they are big, you can just stand them up beside the glass, the bowl, or sometimes you get tourmaline, they are big as well, you can also stand them up, they don't need to be in the jar. So all the smaller stones, they should be in your jar, in your little plastic jar. I already spoke about the EquiSync last week. EquiSync audio material that are 23 minutes each, that you get to synchronize your brain. And I said that now I'm going to teach you another method of powerful of meditation. Now I want you to actually do this now with me, and this is only going to last about 6 minutes. I don't know what a mason jar is. Please, explain what a mason jar is. Let me actually look. Maybe I'll check on the internet. I really don't know what mason jar is. No, mason jar is not allowed. It should be an open vessel. Mason jar is closed. We do not want it in a closed jar. Basmati regular rice, Lion Princess, not brown. Brown are colored. So regular white rice. You cannot use a mason jar. It must be an open jar. Open meaning open bowl. It should be open. It's not closed. Okay, so all of you prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves, because the meditation comes next. This is very, very powerful. If you do this, your energy bodies are going to be aligned. They're going to be aligned. Very important that you learn this. And it is very important that, because our thoughts are running away, our energy is all over the place, and we are 3,000 miles away somewhere else, and we are sitting over here, but our focus, our intention, our attention is somewhere else. So first thing you do is you bring your focus back here, in this room, like wherever you're sitting, in that room, your focus, your energy, everything needs to come back. It needs to come back. And then you focus in front of your object. There must be an object in front of you. Either, like for me, it's a table. I look at my table. That's my focus now, on my table. Or I have a clock in front of me. Or in your case, you may have the wall. You may have a painting on the wall or something else. So you bring your focus back to that object. Focus back to the object. And I'm gonna start this. Make yourselves comfortable. This is gonna last about 5 to 6 minutes. Make yourselves comfortable. And we're going to perform this meditation. I'll explain afterwards the meanings of what this is. Okay, I'm going to kickstart it in a second. Focus in front of yourselves. Look at the front, either an object like a table, or your wall, or a picture on the wall. Focus your eyes on that object. Take one deep breath. Exhale. Close your eyes. Take another deep breath. Exhale slowly. One more time. And now exhale. Bring your energy behind your eyes to the center of your head. Keep your focus there. Breathe normally. See this bright light that descends from the heavens into your head. It slowly penetrates inside your skull, in your brain, vitalizing, transforming, energizing, removing all negativities. It travels down throughout your body. It goes into your face, healing your skin, eyes, lips, nose, refreshing them. It goes down into your throat. And then from your throat, it goes down to your chest, flows through your heart, refreshing the heart, cleansing it, removing previous pains, anxieties, stresses. It flows down into your stomach, cleansing your organs. It goes down into your thighs, down to your knees. The energy goes to your feet. It also spreads to both of your arms, to your fingertips. It energizes, removes any negativities. It collects everything in your body that is sitting there negative. You then see yourself at the base of your spine. This light, this energy goes into the ground. See it going into the ground, and it grounds you. It then spreads in the ground like a tree trunk going into the ground and spreading its branches. It spreads and goes deep into the earth, to the center of the earth, and it removes all your negativities into the Mother Earth. Everything, all the negativities, previous pains, stresses, issues that you had in your life, everything is removed and sent into the earth. You are now 100% grounded. See that energy, that light that grounds you into the earth. Maintain your presence
in your head. Maintain your focus, maintain your breathing. Keep your eyes closed. Breathe normally. Then you see another light coming from the earth. Mother Earth sends a light up through your feet. It goes up through your feet, into your calf muscles, into your knees, into your thighs, into your hips, travels up to your stomach, into your heart, liver, lungs. It penetrates, it cleanses, it energizes as it goes through all those organs. It goes up to your throat, nourishing your throat. It goes up to your face, to your head, envelopes. Then it descends into both of your arms. It then goes behind your back, through your spine, and it radiates back and forth in your body, energizing, nourishing. And then you see this energy. It slowly leaves back down, removing any stresses and negativities. It goes back down into the earth. And you are now fully charged for the day. Now you can breathe in, exhale slowly. One more time. Breathe in, exhale. And you are going to repeat after me. I love myself. I love this planet Earth. I give thanks for everything in my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now you open your eyes. End of the meditation session.
And you remember the object you are facing in front of you. Whatever object, you open your eyes slowly, and that object is in front of your eyes. And you are back in the room, so that you're not drifting, you're back in the room. After this, now the purpose, now we are done with this particular exercise. The purpose of this is to ground you, and when you're grounded, then things will start to happen faster for you. Manifestations in your life will be quicker. If your body is in a disease state, it will start to heal. If your body is in a disrepair, it will suddenly start to transform. So this, what I just taught you just now, is, by the way, secret of the billionaires and the multi-millionaires. They do this, and there's too many people for me to mention. This is a practice that is done every morning by them to help their lives. This is what Jesus taught as well, but I think most people are clueless and they're stuck in religious and dogma, and they never understood it. When he said I go to pray in the mountain, he was doing meditation, sitting down. I go to pray, and he energized and healed, and he came back and he did the miracles. You see the miracles that took place afterwards, after he did that. And so what people do is they spiritualize it away. And when you spiritualize it away, you lose the value of what he actually taught. So we must remember the value of this. And so any questions at this stage before I move on further? Now I will also teach you that this grounding technique can be done for other things as well. But I have an audio, and the audio will help to explain. It will actually take you through that. So request the audio. Send us an email at our website address at Shimoun63 SHIMOUN63 at yahoo.com. You can find it on the web at forever-israel.com. You must practice it every day. This must be done daily. This must be done first thing in the morning. After you get up in the morning, you have your tea, If you wish to have tea, you're a tea person or a coffee person, have your tea or coffee or whatever it is that you like to drink in the morning. For Chinese people, it's hot water. Have your hot water, and then you're ready to do this. Sit down in lotus position, or you can sit down comfortably in a chair, if you feel comfortable in a chair, and then you're ready to do this. And then you must do this. This is where you bring your focus, your center, because your energy, and you must bring your energy focus in the room where you're sitting, because otherwise your thoughts, your energy is all over the place. It's like somewhere there in Jamaica or somewhere in Caribbeans or somewhere else, in Morocco, or maybe, for me it might be in Pakistan or somewhere in England. So we need to bring it back, bring the focus back. If you're in France, the focus needs to be, you need to come back to France. You need to stop traveling to Algeria and Morocco and all the other places, because you will be doing that. By the way, our spirit being, our energy being does travel, because we will be traveling otherwise. We're all over the place. So we need to center ourselves, bring ourselves, focus ourselves in one place, and then we have the power. Once you focus, you bring yourself into one place, you will start seeing miracles happen in your life. These miracles will happen as you practice these methods. And you will then to start to see real abundance in your lives. Things will suddenly start to change. And things will just start falling into line. And you'll be like, wow, this is magic. How did this happen? So at this point, I'm gonna ask you for any questions, rather than me continue and talk about other things. Yes, Rabbi Kefa, this is very important that we ground ourselves to the earth, because this is the key to success. Yes, next what you should do is whatever list you have made. Remember I said that you make a list of top 3 items, and they should be tiered off. The top 3 items, they are tiered off, and then what happens is that you start to run your imagination with those items. Then you need to, because you're in a completely relaxed state, this is a good time now to run those items in your mind, one by one. You go through those items one by one, and then you see whatever it is that you're desiring to achieve in your life, and now you're ready for your day. This whole process, by the way, it should not take you more than 30 minutes in the morning, because I have the tape. I have an audio that I made for this meditation, and request it on the website. Send me an email, and I will send you the recording. And you can play that recording, and it's very nice, with a little music behind, and you will have a beautiful recording played for you. You can just follow the voice. Follow the voice. I did it myself, by the way. So, original coming from me. So therefore, use that for yourselves and for your daily practice. Daily centering yourself, grounding yourself. By the way, you can ground many things. Yes, you can, Yael. Yael, you should do this twice a day if you can, because here is, I wrestle with some people who say they don't have time, or they are so busy and they do one thing and they forget the next. Try, and because this exercise only takes you about 5 to 6 minutes. That's all, 5 to 6 minutes. And do this in the morning and at night, preferably at night as well, but one times a day is sufficient. Must be done 1 time a day. And your imagination exercise should be done twice a day. Yes, the Equisync, Eddie, when you're listening to the Equisync, they're 23-minute audios. They're quite long. So I would suggest you do your imagination technique. You do your visualization technique when you're listening to Equisync. My suggestion is that during this time, center yourself with energy only where you're grounding yourself. This should be focused grounding and replenishing your body, replenishing your soul, because your energy self is now being replenished by this exercise. This exercise should not be mixed with visualization. No, they are separate. When you come to visualization, I suggest that you can play the Equisync tapes, and you can use any of those. There's about 9 of those recordings, and out of those 9 recordings, you pick one that you like and you play it, and then you can start doing your visualization technique. And if it's that beautiful car that you desire, then you start looking at that car and you start driving it. You're sitting in your chair and you're driving your car. You're driving your Bentley, and you're kind of like. And I don't say it with the jest. You can be driving a Bentley. You can be driving a Mercedes. You can be driving a Maserati. These are not out of the realm of possibility. Everything is possible. It is what you believe is possible. Jesus said, believe and receive it. Jesus didn't say that, oh well, if it's a Bentley you can't have it, if it's a Mercedes you can't have it, you got to only dream about Ford cars, you can only dream about those second hand, the hoopties. He didn't say that. Everything is possible. It is what you believe. If you don't believe that you are deserving of a Mercedes, you will never drive a Mercedes. So we need to believe, we need to also to deal with your belief system. Your belief system must be that I am deserving of this. I can have this. So if you have doubts about yourself, this method will help to remove those doubts. The method of the energy is also to help remove doubts. There is no reason why you can't have money, lots of money in the bank. There's no reason why you can't be a millionaire. Absolutely no reason. There's no reason why you can't have a nice luxury car parked in your drive. There's no reason why you can't live in a nice big house. Absolute no reason. So you should not be limiting yourself and saying, well, my father taught me that I can only have a 2-bedroom house and I must just rent. So don't think like that. There's every reason that you are created for abundance by the God of the universe that we serve. You're created for abundance. Abundance should be your norm. If abundance is not your norm, then something is wrong. Then we need to fix it. And what we just did, we fix that. By repeating this every day, you're fixing it. So one lady, I put out a recording last week on restoring lost love. And one lady commented on my video saying that, doesn't this sound like magic? And yes, it sounds like magic, and she wanted a scripture. So here is the issue with giving scripture for everything. The Bible hints. The Bible will not put a story out and say, here is exactly the steps and this is how you do it. The Bible doesn't work like that. The Bible is not a manual for instruction for building a house. The Bible will hint at something. You got to get the hint. And if you don't get the hint, then, if you're looking for a line that, a line in the Bible that says, oh, Jesus said this, that if you do it this way, and if you apply this, and then this will happen. No, Jesus didn't do that either. Jesus hinted. When Jesus hinted at something, and Moses hinted, Aaron hinted, prophets hinted. The prophets didn't tell you how they ran at 100 miles an hour. Did the prophet Elijah tell you how he ran at 100 miles an hour? He didn't tell you, did he? But you read about it, that he was able to travel a journey so fast that he was there in seconds. Sounds like amazing. Sounds like these movies that you see in cinema. These men that are running fast. The Incredible Four, those kind of movies. So if they didn't explain it, then there's a good reason they didn't explain it. Because it is doable. The Avengers, The Avengers is probably one of those movies as well where they have that kind of things going on. So my point is that these things are doable. But don't look for scripture. Oh, where does scripture say that red color is for love? I'll just have to laugh because let me tell you where it says. Your body, the root of your body, the base of your spine is what's known as in Indian theology or Indian lore, is known as the root chakra. The root chakra, by the way, you might say, well, where does it say in the Bible that's the root chakra? And I will tell you where it says in the Bible. You got millions of words in the Bible that say Malchut in the Hebrew. Malchut is for kingdom. That is your root chakra, by the way. See, ignorant don't know. The knowledgeable already know this. So let's not talk about where in the Bible it says that the root chakra is. So when you are ignorant of these things, apply them. Apply them and you'll see the results. Indian mythology, it's not Indian mythology. What the Indians had is what our people have as well. Because we came out of India, as I said, many times before. Our ancient people, ancient Israel, our ancient ancestors, Abraham, his forefathers, they all traveled from India outwards. Guess what? They carried out of India. All the systems of India as well carried with them. Absolutely, Rabbi Kefa. Abraham knew this. So my point is very important to understand that these are important matters. They need to be applied, and they need to be applied to your success. Bottom line. What is the bottom line? How successful are you in your life? That's the bottom line. Bottom line is not, I am now perfect at this method and what do I do next? No. The bottom line is this: you'll be a successful person. You'll be a well-known person. You will be a loved person. What you want to do is you have a whole-rounded family. You want to have love in your life. You want to have a nice family. You know, a nice home. All of the things that are desirous to you. You're a unique individual. So when we read in the scripture and God says, "Tell the weak, I am strong," okay? What does that actually mean? I am strong. How am I going to be strong if I don't have any money in my bank? If I don't have a car to drive? If I don't have a home to live? Can you be strong without those items? Well, you say, well, Rabbi, where does it say that he's going to have a car? You cannot be strong without a car today. You cannot be strong without money in the bank. You cannot be strong without a home. People will look down on you if you don't have a house. But if you had a house, a car and money, guess what? Let the weak say, I am strong. That's what strong means. That's what the Hebrew Bible is telling you. But God didn't explain it. God didn't explain it what that means. I'm explaining it. That's my job. But this is the problem. Half the time, you see, people don't explain things. They just take them and they don't look past the verse, what it really actually means. It means much more than what is said over there. But needs to be understood. Well, how do we know that love is red? By the way, Indians know that the root chakra is red. Well, how do we know that red is a color for love, Rabbi? Very easy. Because God says I'm love. And red is a universal color for love. So if God is love, surely red is a universal color. Surely. Right? Connect the dots. What more do we need? Oh, my goodness. Talk about, Adelia, if you have to borrow a relative's car, you are going to be depressed about it. Because you need to have your own car. And you need to be driving your car. And I'm not saying that, you're all going to dream about Bentleys. You're dreaming, you're actually putting a vision out for a regular car. What's a regular car? To some people, a regular car might be a Ford, or might be a Chrysler, or it might be some other make. Toyota may be a regular car, or maybe Audi. We're talking about regular cars over here. Regular cars. We're not saying that you're going to be driving a jet on the road, or a Maserati. There's nothing wrong with driving Maserati, but you can. But having said that, it is very important to understand that you're dreaming about a car that you can, drive to work. Regular car. You're asking for something very ordinary. You're not asking for something special. And it's very, very achievable. By the way, you should be driving your car in your vision every day, morning and night. Dwell on it. You will get it. You will get your car. Rabbi Yosef, you're asking that Shabbat Shalom HaKohen, does the Malchut relate to rising of this energy within and filling the head pineal that gives Yehoshua and the saints also as the ones we see of India with a halo around the heads? A very good question, Rabbi. Yes, we do have a head center called the crown chakra. The crown chakra basically is a halo. Yeah, that's actually good question. Yes, it's a halo. We don't see it, but it is there. It is there. Okay, so I'm gonna just stop here, and I'm gonna pass the mic back to Rabbi Kefa. I think this is enough. I've given you enough. Practice. Make your lives full of abundance. Todah. Shabbat Shalom.
If I can be here, can I get a 1 Todah for your great instruction going forward? What I'd like to add to that is make sure that you request a recording. For you who listen via YouTube, make sure you send us an email to what's our email address? forever-israel@yahoo.com. Okay. Send it directly to Shimon SISHIMOUN 63 @yahoo.com. Send an email to Rabbi Simon Altab, the Kohen, and I would encourage all of you to get that audio. It is like awesome. Yeah, you heard it live here, but that audio, I don't know how he did it, but there's like this is like awesome sound effects to it. I'll tell you, he must have incorporated Hollywood into this because it's really good. It's really good. It reminds me of the biblical, the religious moves and how, their perception of God, and you talking down with this voice, and it's really cool. I really like it. I really enjoy it. Chadasha for that, by the way. I really do appreciate it, and I'm pretty sure my children and children will as well, as this information will be passed on. And believe me, I can guarantee you, how many of you have ever heard of another rabbi in your seeking and searching that has given you this kind of instruction? My goodness, they actually run away from this. They actually run away from this type of understanding. You're not going to. I guarantee you never heard of even another so-called, spiritual, God-fearing, religious person give you any kind of understanding like this is really going to help with your lives going forward. Because, Hakohen is right. I mean, the time for, us here parsing through our history, you see, because we have to be careful that we don't fall into this trap to where when we assess the rich history of the Hebrews, we don't place ourselves in that history. You know what I mean? Because believe it or not, some still on YouTube with the understanding that they're still enslaved and that they're still in bondage. Am I right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you not see some of these teachings in YouTube in passing that they tell you that they need to get out of Babylon? Are you not hearing? I mean, they're like living in the past. I'm telling you, they're living in the past. No, you're not supposed to live in the past. You're supposed to live in the now. Now is now. You see? When our forefathers were enslaved, that was the now. They were enslaved now, but they're no longer enslaved now, as Hakohen has told you, and as all of you know. You're a witness and testimony and a testament to not being enslaved. But yet, here's the next step, though. Now you have to deal with yourself. You see, we can sit here and run through all of the the history of the Hebrews, and we go through the Torah, and you get the religious spiel, but at the end of the day, how is that helping you? How is that helping you benefit your life now, where you are right now, today? Not where you're going to be in the future, because believe me, the future is now. The future is right now. The past is now. You see, you're thinking about the past, but the past is now. So a lot of folks have their past as, I'm enslaved because people are enslaved. We're under a curse. So because our people's under a curse. No, we're not. That curse was back then was now. Now, you see, this is why I asked you the question. What at this very moment are you lacking? You see, because people think, they'll say, well, Rabbi, I got this bill coming up. They might take my house next month. Last year, he broke my heart. Well, no. What right now are you lacking? Yeah, your relationship back then may have been bad, but then is not now. The future, them taking your house 2 months from now, is not right now. All of our worries, all of our doubt, all of our fears are not that we feel for right now, but what we do with our minds is we create. You see, the mind's got to keep you either in the past or in the future. I want you to understand this is so true. The mind is a marvelous tool, but you don't live in your mind. Yet a lot of people are living in their mind. You must learn to use your mind as the awesome tool that it is. It's an awesome tool. But for a millennia, many decades, our ancestry, our history, we have not used our minds properly and see our minds as a tool. We've been letting our minds dominate us and tell us, oh, we must be fearful. Oh, we must be very concerned about what's going to happen in 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, 2 years from now. No, you only need to be worried about now. Now, right now. Not in the future, not in the past. So we must begin to deal with the now. If you notice, you must begin to live outside of your mind. It's unfortunate that a lot of people today, their mind and themselves are one, and that's not true. That's totally not true. The mind is a wonderful tool that has taken over. It has taken over. So now you must regain and you must take over your mind and you must begin to do a paradigm shift within your mind. Take control of that marvelous tool and use it for abundance. For so many times your mind has been tearing you down. How many of you have ever heard this statement before? You're out of your mind. Anybody heard that statement before? Somebody will tell you, or you heard, man, you out of your mind. Do you know that's exactly where you need to be? You know why they tell you that statement? It's because it's reverse psychology. They're telling you that statement because they're trying to reverse psychology you into the fact that you do need to be in your mind. And no, you don't. You actually need to be outside of your mind so that you can dictate it and you can tell it and you can use it, your mind, for positive things, for abundance. People inside of their mind will always have questions and will always want to live in the past and in the future. Believe it or not, believe me, I want you to do this. I want you to do this test this week. Rabbi Benir says, great compliment indeed means I'm on the right track if they tell you you're out of your mind. Absolutely. It's because the whole world is being mind controlled. Not by outside forces, but the forces are actually within their own self. Each individual, their mind, for the most part, is controlling them, is dictating. Oh, I got to worry about the future. Oh, I got to worry about the past. No. You just need to focus on the now. Now, today, right now. Oh, I give thank you for the now that I do have my health. But too many people are already, condemning themselves and putting themselves, in all kind of health ailments and physical ailments because why? Right now I'm thinking about, I got to eat this food so I don't get this disease. I got to make sure I do. You live in this, you see what I mean? And before you know it, people are stressed out and they're depressed and they're worn out and the anxiety level is off the charts. You see all of these disease processes that they're coming up with now? Oh, he has ADHD, CHBY. They're coming up with all kind of names for all of these things that are just based on behavior and not having mind control. So they have to put a title on it, give it a name, give it a diagnosis, and put you on some medication. All because your mind is just driving you crazy, literally. Your mind is just driving you crazy. Why? It's because you haven't taken control over that awesome tool that we have, our minds. But now, what is the son of Aaron doing? He's teaching us how to use our minds. Use your minds. Live outside of your mind. And you can do this. I would encourage you these next 6 days of labor to really examine yourself and live outside of your mind. You'll see it's a beautiful thing. Especially when you start doing your meditations. When you start, you start getting conscious. You see, right now, most folks are running in unconscious mode. And that's mind control mode. You have to understand that you have to live in conscious mode. And when you begin to live in conscious mode, you'll sit there and look at yourself. And you'll see yourself saying things, and don't discourage yourself saying these things. But you'll begin to see yourself saying things. Oh, yeah. And then you'll sit there and hear yourself saying it. And so that's when you can begin to live outside of your mind, is it? You're having conversations with yourself, listen to yourself talk. And you begin to deal with these conversations that you're having. You're actually dealing with it. You say, no, that's not me. No, I'm not going to be angry today. Why do I need to be angry? No, why do I need to be depressed? I can be just as happy and have joy just like the next man. See, then you can begin to deal with it. But when you're just in the mind mode, oh my goodness, your mind is telling you, oh, your back aches. So guess what? Your back is going to ache because your mind told you that your back is aching. By Joseph Hilton is saying, Shabbat Shalom, Chief Rabbi Kefa. Does the mind have a fixed connection with the ego, which doesn't want to die but wants to be the controller in our lives, as we also see in the government systems of the world? Absolutely. Mind is ego. This is why you have to come out of it and begin to see the mind as a tool, and not the mind dominating and directing you on what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. Oh, I got to worry about the past. I got to worry about the present. No, I got to worry about the past. I got to worry about the future. But you're not living in present. You see, do you know how you kill the mind control? Live in the present. Live in the now. We're taught this in our parsha, but many people don't see it. Can anybody tell me, Mishpatim, what was going on in this parsha? Yeah, you all know this. You've read parsha many times over if you've been here for any minute of it, any amount of what they call time. Because, I am learning that we must operate. Time is an illusion. And you must operate outside of that. You just are. You're now. Now doesn't have a time to it. Just like, what do we see in this parsha? But a beautiful relationship during this time of judgments. We see a beautiful time of relationships. Relationship, how you get on with those that are indentured to you and those that want to stick with you because you're such a great person. You see every different scenario in this parsha, from people to pets. Do you not see this in this parsha? To plants. It's all right there in our relationship with this great earth. Judgment. You see, because what we want to be just and fair folks on this earth. This is one of the great reasons why Israel was dispersed in the nations. To show justice. To do justice. What happens in this parsha, Mishpaha? Israel decides to do what? Oh, there's a marriage going on. Do you not see the marriage? Let me help you out. I'm going to fast forward it. There's a marriage going on. How many of you see the marriage? Israel said, we will do. We will hear. This is a marriage that totally happens. Israel is, and last time I checked, Israel is the only people that have a covenant with the God of the universes. A covenant. As Rabbi Benia likes to say, we broke bread with the universes. There's covenant here. There's a relationship. Only people. Israel. The only people. What other peoples can say this, that they have a covenant? You look at Exodus 21 verse 1. Now these are the judgments which you shall set before them. Who is the set before them? Now, these are judgments which you shall set before them. Who's the them there? All the peoples of the world? Now, these are the judgments. Who's the us? U.S.? United States? These are the judgments which you shall set before them. Who's the them? The whole of the world? All of the peoples? the human race, mankind. Rabbi Yosef Hilton says Israel. Abiyah says Israel. So, as folks want to call themselves Israel, tell you that the Israel, wear the Israel garb, whatever that garb is, they'll put on the Israel garb, whatever that Israel clothing, and maybe, they may go to the barber shop and do a little etching in their head with the, Star David, and maybe, you know how they styling these hairs these days. I saw some man, he had the continent of Africa shaved into his head. His whole haircut was the continent. I was like, my goodness, it's unique. He loves the continent of Africa, I guess. It's great. Great for him. So, these judgments are for them. Yet do we sit here, most people in the world, they sit here and they use Israel's judgments on the whole world. That's not fair and just. That's not right. You see, so this is what, it's very important that we're very sensitive to these nations that we're in. Because we're in their nations. And they're going to do things totally that's opposite, polar opposite, the judgments that were given on and placed on Israel. That were set for us. So you must be very careful. And this gets closer to home because I'm a zoom in right into our close-knit nations when we consider our families, our friends, and our loved ones. You may have a family member that loves to eat porky pig. He's the pork chop king. Matter of fact, Chinese New Year's approaching, and guess what year this is? This is the year of the pig. According to Chinese New Year, according to their system, it's the year of the pig. My son will be born in the year of the pig, Baruch Hashem. But you have a lot of folks, they love to eat pork. Friends, family members, loved ones, they love to eat the shrimp fest at their Red Lobster. Why are you condemning them and putting them down? Telling them that they're going to hell? Running them up and down the block? You see, these judgments were not set on these people. These judgments are for Israel. You must consider this to be just and fair in your judgments. As you deal with your friend that you may go out and have lunch with, dinner with, but because they order, the shrimp platter, you're mad at them and you don't want to talk to them anymore. They no longer can be your friend. That's the wrong attitude to have. The judgments weren't set on these people. They don't consider themselves Israel. Yet some may consider themselves Israel and still not keep the judgments. So this is what you need to understand with this as well, is that you must be considerate, you must show kindness and compassion, and you must not roll around out here in the judgment seat, condemning folks unjustly. They never proclaimed to be Israel. Why are you running them under the bus? That could go for your spouse, that could go for your mother, your father, that could go for your sister, your friends. How are they going to see, the God-man in you, your I am, when you're telling them they're not? And you're pointing the finger and you're judging them and you're holding them to accountability. By what standard? These judgments weren't set for them. I took the hard knocks approach on this as well as this on the back end as I Monday morning quarterback this and say, wow, I was really harsh on my family at a time, one time or another, because I went in there like Super Hebrew who's cleaning house. They didn't accept this covenant. They wanted no part of the covenant, so why am I holding them to covenant standard? We can make our lives so much easier, and we can make our lives, the lives of others that are around us, so much easier by not judging them and holding them to your standards. You see, Rabbi Zechariah says, sometimes I catch catfish while fishing. I just give them to my neighbor who loves catfish. Oh, indeed. You're not going to say, oh, my neighbor's going to hell because he eats the catfish. But yet, this is just mentality wants you to do. Again, when we look at this parsha and we look at judgment, it all deals with this kingdom of the planet Earth, this wonderful planet, as we deal with people, as we deal with pets, oxen, sheep, goats, as we deal with the plant life, your grains. What happens when you burn somebody's grain field? I mean, all of this is a harmonious relationship with this planet Earth that we must connect to. We have become disassociated with the Earth. And just like you heard in Hakoi's lecture, we have to come back to the Earth. We do. Last time I checked, our books tell us that mankind has been given dominion over what? Mars? Pluto? Jupiter? Uranus? What have we been given dominion over as men? We've been given dominion over this Earth. This Earth. We must connect with Mother Earth. This is why Hakoi's lectures are timely. No, they're not timely. They're for the now. Because I'm not a believer in time. It's just now. You know why I say that? It's just now. Because Israel took on a covenant with the creator of the heavens and the universe. We call him the God of Israel. You may call him Lord. You may call him even Jesus. You may call him whatever you may call the power. The power. And in doing so, we look at relationships here on this earth, and we see the same thing, right? What happens when you marry and you go before either the justice of the peace, or you may have that, grand, elaborate, nice wedding at this, big courtyard, and you see beautiful rows of columns, and, everybody's dressed in white, and you see all of these beautiful flowers everywhere. And you stand before the man that's giving out the vows on your behalf, whoever that may be, a rabbi, a preacher, a spiritual teacher, whatever it may be. And there's a lot of witnesses around. And the man gets up there and he's giving off the vows, and the woman gives the vows to the man. And the official that's officiating over this grand event, this joyous event, what does he make each party say? The man and the woman. What do they? Some of you've already said it. You're happy and you say it. You're joyous and you say it. But what do you say after all the statements are made? What do you say when you want to marry? What is the end-all statement? Can anybody tell me? For those that have been married or married, what is the end-all statement in front of all these witnesses that you say? James B says, I do. James B, have you said I do? There you go. It's that I do, right? So we see this in this parsha as well. Israel says what? We do. We do. Well, James, you will be saying it. You will say, I do. Now, I do, isn't it such a powerful statement, right? I do. I do. Say it right now. Say it. Say, I do. I do. I do. Now, if you had to put the I do statement in a category, past, present, and future, where would the I do statement go? I do. Anybody tell me? I do. I do. What category do you put that statement in? That powerful statement. I do. See, some people, think about this, because Israel said this, and believe me, it caught the attention of the creator of the heavens and the universes. I do. Yael, woman of the 10, says that's the present. That's present category. Anybody, any other takers? I do. You see, what category would that be put in? Would that be future? I do in the future? I do in the past? Or I do in the present? Yeah, there you go, Daniel. Now you're getting it. James B is getting it too. They're saying the I do. That's now. That's now. That's what we're talking about. The now. Do you see it? So you say, oh, Rabbi, you talk about all this now stuff. Where do you see it in the Bible? It's this place when Israel said that I do. They said we will do, we will hear. We take you. This is a marriage contract. It's a covenant. Can't be broken. Well, you can break it. One side can break it. As you see, Israel did broke, but we have an opportunity to come back. Rukashem. I do. That's very powerful. I want you to take that statement with you. Don't ever forget it. Remember, I do. Because I do put you back in the what? In the now. Put you in the now. Put you in the now, Mishpatim. Put you here, right now. Now, in saying that, I have some jokes that deal with marriage. Here's the first one. I have little jokes that deal with marriage. Darling, says Barry to his wife Sarah, I invited a friend home for supper. What? Are you crazy? Sarah splutters. The house is a mess. I didn't go shopping. All the dishes are dirty. I don't much feel like cooking a fancy meal. I know that, murmurs Barry. Then why did you invite a friend for supper? Explodes Sarah. Because the poor fool is thinking about getting married, concludes Barry. You see that? Because the poor fool is considering marriage, says Barry. So Barry's trying to help his friend out here. Okay, here's another one for you pertaining to marriage. And Elaine, young couple, immediately phoned her mother. And her mother obviously asked, how was the honeymoon, dearest? Oh, Mama, she replied, the honeymoon was wonderful, so romantic. Then Elaine burst out crying. But Mama, as soon as we returned home, Rupert started using those most ghastly language, saying things I've never heard before. I mean, all those 4-letter words. You got to come get me and take me home. Please, Mama. Calm down, Elaine, said her mother. Tell me, what could be so awful? What 4-letter words? Still sobbing, Elaine whispered, oh, Mama, words like dust, wash, cook, and iron. I thought that was pretty funny. Those 4-letter words. A marriage, Mishpatim. It's a marriage here. It's a marriage here. And then in the marriage is that you're going to have to say, I do. You said I do. Many of you have affirmed, I do, by taking on the oath and the vows that come along with this marriage, Israel. But you must understand is that a marriage must be worked. What happens when the honeymoon stage is over? Elaine loved the honeymoon stage, but then she had to come home to the 4-letter words. Dust. I like that. Wash. Those 4-letter words. What I want you to understand today is I know a lot of you have been in the way for a while. Don't become like Elaine. Don't let the honeymoon stage ever end. Our relationship with the Creator of the heavens and the universes is just getting sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. But many people are not here today that were here at one time because their honeymoon stage ended. Oh, I don't like what that rabbi said about this, that. These people are evil. We're not supposed to, same-sex marriage is wrong, and these people going to hell. The rabbi is saying to be considerate and kind and show compassion to these people. That's totally against. You see where we're going with this? You should always be getting sweeter and sweeter with your relationship, with your covenant, with the God of Israel. Noting today the lecture that the Sir gave, teaching you how to meditate, how to pray. Many times we get questions here all the time. Oh, Rabbi, how many times a day do I need to pray? Actually, that's the wrong question to ask. You need to be asking when you pray properly. What is prayer? What is effective prayer? How do I pray with effectiveness? You meditate. You see, because many times in our conditioning in these nations, we've been taught that prayer is not within, but it's actually without. It's that you have to look outside of yourself for prayer. But do you note here, and it's still in the honeymoon stage, and I hope all of you are still in the honeymoon stage with the Creator of heavens and the universes. It only gets sweeter for me. So romantic, as Elaine said. So sweet. I say that. It's because when you learn how to properly pray and understand that prayer is within. It's within you. See, because powerful prayer will begin to show you who you really are. You don't have to look outside of yourself. The I am force is within you. And all of you are starting to understand that. And you're starting to realize how powerful you really are within yourself. You're powerful. But your mind will tell you you're not. Your mind will tell you, no, you can't do that. You're just old piddly old dude. You're like Steve Urkel. No. You're Arnold Schwarzenegger. But your mind is telling, no, you're a Steve Urkel. You'll always be a Steve Urkel. You're going to be this little piddly of a man, a shell of yourself. That's your mind telling you. What is your mind basing that on? You ever ask yourself that? Talk to your mind and say, well, what's your basis? You need to have these kind of conversations. Well, people are going to think I'm crazy. You see, there you go. There's your mind. Your mind is playing tricks on you. Coming up with excuse after excuse after excuse while you don't begin to deal with your inner self. You can never let your I am within you flourish because your mind will be, I'm telling you, once the inner man is manifested within you, there's no room in the body for the mind to continue with his little Jedi mind tricks. Then you begin to use that powerful tool of the mind for your infinite abundance. Your mind must be subdued and subjugated into what it's really supposed to be. It's just but a tool. The brain is a wonderful tool. How many people are using it? I tell you that all the time. Are you out of your mind? Yes, ma'am, and thank you very much. I sure am. Out of my mind. So you must begin to subjugate, control that mind, see it as a tool, and not the all and end all. You must understand, as human beings, your default setting given to you by the Creator of the heavens and the universe is infinite abundance. So you go from default setting to now and say, well, what happened? Where am I? Ask yourself that question. Where am I here? What happened? If my default setting is supposed to be infinite abundance, then why am I right now in depressed mode? Why am I in anxiety mode? And it's all related to the mind. Mind don't like living in the now. It doesn't like that. This is why when you begin to tell it, you begin to affirm within your I am mode. Look, I am wealthy. The mind is like, no, you're not. You didn't pay last month's bill. You see where I'm going? These are practical examples of how the mind will, I'm telling you, the mind will try to trick you. and tell you something, because the mind has to dwell in the past or it has to dwell in the future. The mind can't dwell in the now, because what you tell your mind today, now, the mind's like, wait a minute. Let me go back. Let me do a total recall. Let me go back and look through the archives. No, richness does not line up with the archives. You see where we're going? Some of you listening via YouTube, and maybe some of you live in this room right now, you are a subject, you are a slave to your past. And that's tearing you down. And that's, Hakoin mentioned this. Do you understand when Hakoin talks about blocks? Do you know what that means? When he talks about blocks, mental blocks, you can have blocks. Do you know what that means? Basically, that's the same thing as saying like stumbling blocks in your way. These are things that hinder you from, letting your I am mode continuously. In the East, they call it enlightenment. How many of you desire enlightenment? In the East, I see and I hear these stories of people, their whole lives seeking and searching out enlightenment. Nobody wants to be enlightened? Okay, I do. Enlightenment. To where you go back and you live in being mode. Not the human mode, but you live in that being mode. I can be anything I want to be. I can do anything that I want to do. Now. Well, yeah, Rabbi, sometime in the future, you see, your future is now. Now you can do it. Now you can be it. I am. Now. I do. Now. We will do. Now. Mishpatim. But it's going to have to be little by little, because for a lot of you, it just can't be quick. It's a quick fix to what you've created and what you've been conditioned to for so many years. What is already in place, and that's mind domination. Some of you have great ideas, you have great imaginations, but who shoots them down? Not Johnny across the street, not Sally in the next room, but your mind shoots it down. Some of you have great imaginations. But what happens with them? Why does the imagination fizzle? What takes over? Assess yourself. And you'll see, you'll be like, wow, Rabbi, you're right. My mind is my enemy to my manifestation. I can't manifest because my mind's not right. Then you need to control your mind. Hakoin has given you great examples and great techniques and great strategy on how to put your mind back into its proper frame. Wow. You begin to do these things, my goodness, Mishpatim. I don't care what you call it. You can call it magic, you can call it whatever you want, manifestation, but it works. You're going to see evidence on the ground. Real-time evidence. Some of you can't have visions because your mind blocks you from doing that. The minute you want to have a vision, the minute you have a dream, your mind shoots you down. Nobody else is doing it. Because you're probably definitely not telling anybody else because you're too embarrassed. And it's none of their business anyway. But think about this. You need to start thinking. And don't let your mind control you. See yourself outside of your mind so you can assess your mind and see what your mind is doing. You believe me, this you can. You sit there, you just be, thoughts. I mean, how many thoughts come through in a day? My goodness, all kind of things is going through that supercomputer up there called the brain. Things need to be sectioned off and put in the proper place. Some things need to go in the recycle bin, some things need to go in the trash, and some things need to circulate. physical presentation and manifestation of your life is now. Rabbi, he broke my heart. Well, what about now? Is your heart broken now? Well, yeah, but in the past, I want to do this in the future, but let's talk now. The future is now. When you say I do, that's now. Present with the now. That's why I asked you earlier, what at this moment are you lacking? What are you lacking? What are you lacking? You see, we want to fall. Lack is the mind's default setting. Oh, I'll never be able to do that because I need money to do that. Or I'll never be able to do that because I'm too ugly to get that man that I want to get. In the past, they told me I was ugly. Well, now, are you ugly now? No. Because believe me, there's many products on the shelf that can help fix that. Make you look beautiful. You can take anybody and make them look beautiful, man or woman. But again, you have to see yourself in the now. You come out of all this religious mumbo jumbo, because that's just what it is. At the end of the day, what is religious mumbo jumbo? It's keeping you out of the now, isn't it? Because the religious mumbo jumbo will leave you where? My goodness. Religious mumbo jumbo will leave you in the future somewhere or will leave you in the past. It won't take you to the now, to where you are now. You see? Think about it for a minute. This is one of the biggest blocks, is the religious mumbo jumbo. And you see them come through here all the time. Well, where did Jesus say that? Well, show me a scripture, Rabbi. Where did Jesus say for me to do that? Like that. I want it verbatim. My goodness. See, these are people that are not willing to deal with the present. They don't want to stay in the now. They don't want to stay in the now. They want to say, oh no, you got to show me exactly how it was back when we had mules and sheep. Well, now today we have driverless cars. Soon to be flying cars, you see. My goodness. You must get back to your I am mode. That's default setting for human beings. It's the I am. It's the I am. It is the I am. To God for that, Rabbi Zechariah. Again, a great example of the religious mumbo jumbo. Return back to Yahweh. Isn't that not what we're doing? Isn't that not what you learned today? To get back to your I am mode, who you really are. But many want to live mind control. Religion is nothing but a bunch of mumbo that's leaving you in mind control. They're controlling your mind, telling you what you're going to do. Oh, I'll be a sinner. Isn't that, oh man, really, that's a big one. Oh, I'm a sinner. I'm going to hell. I'm going to be a sinner. Oh, I must admit now so that I can get brownie points in the world to come. That's a bunch of jumbo. You're here to live of abundance here on this earth. You've been given dominion over this wonderful, beautiful earth. It is so beautiful here on this earth. There are many beautiful places, beautiful people. We learn in our parsha. We learn in our parsha how to get on with all people, right? Our parsha even teaches us how to get on, how we to treat our slaves. They're not even considered slaves. Slaves become family members. Have you ever heard of that? Slave want to become family members because you treat them right. And you're just and fair to them. You see? It's important. The mistreatment of humanity when we look at people, when we look at pets, and we look at plants. We don't want to mistreat any of that. Wow. From our agriculture, to how we treat our animals, and to how we justly and fairly deal with our neighbor. And we're told time and time again, Exodus chapter 21, verse 9, you shall not oppress a foreigner, for you know that the heart of the foreigner, because you were a foreigner in the land of Mitzrayim, in Egypt. Yet you look at New York City, my goodness, so-called followers of Yahweh, followers of God, and all these religions. Well, let me just talk about, because, the mandate, as we read earlier, the mandate that's set before them is dealing with Israel. So anybody that claims to be Israel, in the family of Israel, should not be mistreating anyone, regardless of their religious background, affiliation, political association, financial situation, or demographics, or based on any kind of color. We should not be mistreating any of these kind of people. Yet, under the guise of Hebrews, Israelite, Jew, blah, 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 you see this happening world over. Question is, are you really the covenant people? Because you surely didn't say, if you said I do, you didn't mean it. Because you don't keep up to what was set before you. I do. I do is now. I do. I do. Powerful, powerful. I do. That's in the now, Mishpatim. I do. I want to treat my fellow man the way I would want to be treated. I want to be just and fair, just as I want just and fair treatment. This is what it's all about. It's not about a religion affiliation. Please come off all of that. We're a covenant people. Our covenant was not based on a religion. It was because of I do. We were willing to live in the now, right now. Now, I do. I will do. Our forefathers said, we will do, we will hear. My goodness, that was enough for the creator of the heavens and the universe to say, I want to make a contract with this family, with this people. We're going to make a covenant. We're going to come together in covenant. My goodness. My goodness. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Marvelous thing, awesome thing. Covenant people. Any other people on the face of this earth that can consider themselves a covenant people outside of Israel that has a covenant with a power, a higher power on the level of Israel? No way. And the doors of Israel, the doors of this covenant are open to all people. Don't discriminate. Yet, we see in religions that they want to segregate and discriminate against you. Creator of the heavens and the universes, see all of his human beings. He sees them as his creation, because that's just what they are, his creation. And we all have to learn how to get on with one another the correct way. Not holding any grudges, not holding any animosity. Understanding that we may not understand everything. We may not understand why people do what they do, but so be it. This is the beauty of this earth, of this world, is that we may not understand everything at all times. Or why people do what they do, and why blah, 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 blah. But what we need to concern ourselves with is ourselves. And that we want proper understanding, is that we want to live and live right and just and fair. Fairness. It's not about going around here quoting biblical verses to everybody. Oh, Ephesians says this, blah, blah, blah. You know, you go over here. Exodus tells you to do this, blah, blah, blah. What does that make you? A memory master? But you don't treat, you're not fair and just to your neighbor. You don't treat your husband right. You don't treat your children right. My goodness. There's no time for all that. There's no time in this day and age, and now, there's no time for all of that. There's just no time for that. Because believe it or not, religion turns off a lot of people. And religion will invoke emotions in some people that you don't want to see. But you treat people fair, you treat somebody good, you just good to someone, you treat them right, and you're nice to people. My goodness. That's default. These are default settings. We don't want to mistreat people, Mishpaha. We want to be treated just and fair, so we should give that out as well. To the so-called stranger. It's very, very important for us to understand this as we get on. So we're told we have here a marriage. We're in a marriage contract. We're in a marriage covenant right now as we speak with the Creator of the heavens and the universe, the God of Israel. We're in it. The covenant is still in effect. It hadn't went away. I hadn't got the memo. It hadn't went away yet. Then we're told, Yael, woman of the tent, she's an early bird. She always is. She comes in early and she mentions something about her family members are coming. They're starting to listen and come in little by little, little by little. And there's something to that. When we look at Exodus chapter 23, I start reading from verse 27. I will send my fear before you. I will cause confusion among all the people to whom you come. And I will make all your enemies turn their backs to you. Look at verse 28. And I will send hornets before you, and I will drive out the Wahi, the Canaani, and the Hittite from before you. Verse 29. I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year. Listen to this. Because many people, listen to this. This is very important. Look at verse 29. I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field become too numerous for you. My goodness. Verse 30. Little by little will I drive them out from before you until you have increased and you inherit the land. There is a lot of great understanding in this verse right here. A lot of great understanding that we can understand something today. Many people today, they want to go back to the land, understand that the God of Israel, as part of the covenant, the God of Israel is going to bring us back to the land. We don't have to manifest it, aliyah, all that mumbo-jumbo, no time for all that. Because the God of Israel, He's going to bring His people back into the land. But what's key is what I want to hone in on is this. Exodus 23 and 29. I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year. You see, you're not going to come back into, you're not going to really fully coming back into your I am mode. It's not going to happen in 1 year. It's going to take some time. Not even time. I wouldn't even like to use that word time. But it's systematic. You see, there's reasons for that. Just like there's reasons, you see, here is explained in here in the Torah. We're given reasons why taking of the land initially was not going to be very quickly. Why? Lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the field become too numerous for you. Overpopulation of animals. See, and I'm beginning to understand this, continue to understand, is that do you know on this earth, there's a harmony with this earth. That the earth moves in a harmony. How many of you understand that? I'm beginning, even with learn some great lessons with the animal life, with the plant life, with human beings. There's a whole connectivity to this earth, and the earth is like a heartbeat. It just operates in this perfect harmony. Like when your heart beats, it brings blood throughout all of the vessels in your body, through your veins and your arteries, correct? And I like the word that Hakohen used with circulation. Is that everything circulates. Doesn't your blood circulate? It brings carbon dioxide, gets rid of carbon dioxide, takes in oxygen. It's circulation. Do you see it? And what does the earth do? Does it not spin around the sun? It goes around the sun, doesn't it? I mean, it circulates. Hakohen, awesome. That was awesome understanding, and I'm getting it. I'm continuing to get it. But there's a whole harmony to how everything evolves. The Chinese call it the yin and the yang, and they have that circular thing, looks like an earth, and it's black and white with the two little dots in it. But there's a whole harmony, harmonics. And I'm starting to see that in everything. In every single thing. So beautiful. So you see in Exodus 29, 23, and 29, that the God of Israel is saying, look, you can't do this quickly. That's just not the nature of things. Things just have to evolve, and they'll just take place in sequence. And it's just like a beautiful symphony, like a beautiful orchestra. It's playing. And I'm telling you, when you come back into the I am mode, and as you are coming back into the I am mode, and as you are in the I am mode, you begin to see this even more clearer. My goodness, you'll begin to see trees in a different light. You'll begin to see that beetle in a different light. You'll begin to see the butterfly in a different light. You'll begin to see the bird in a different light. Because your mind will tell you one thing, but when you get in the I am mode, my goodness, things become HD quality, 6G, no longer 5G, 10G, 13G. I mean, any of you experiencing that already? Believe me, you're going to start as you go back in I am mode. You're going to see your wife in a different light. You're going to see your children in a different light. You're going to see your dog in a different light. You're going to see your car in a different light. It's this harmony, harmonious fusion of just energies that all cooperate for the common good. For the common good, commonality of the good of the earth. And you want to be a part of that. Your energy, you want to be a part of it. You want to be flowing with that. You don't want to be an outcast. This is why Hakohen is teaching you about grounding. You got to get grounded back to Mother Earth if you want Mother Earth to work with you and attract to you, you see? You have to ground yourself. You cannot connect it and expect, things to, operate and happen on this earth for your benefit. What happens when you have this, super awesome computer or super awesome television set, super awesome appliance, but you have it there and it's on the counter and it's all nice and shiny and it looks very nice, but you never plug it into the wall. Think about that. But you never plug it into the wall. What good is that nice and shiny and beautiful appliance and gadget and electronic? What good is that doing you if it's not plugged in? You understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing with us as human beings. We must be grounded to Mother Earth. To be partakers of the harmony. See, the harmony is already flowing. Whether you're in harmony or not, it's still moving. It's still flowing. There's perfect order. Perfect law. Perfect order. Do you see it? But now, you have to connect to it. You got to plug in. So you got to get grounded to Mother Earth. And then all of a sudden, just like Hakohen said, it'll be just like magic. You're just manifesting things that just coming your way. It's just like magnet. And I was imagining with that bath, the bath of abundance, that's done monthly, by the way. If you're coming in late, make sure you catch the lecture. You got to go back and listen to this recording. It's going to really, really help you in your infinite abundance mode. Not only you yourself, but your children and your children's children as well. It's really going to be a great benefit, a great blessing to you. So you take the bath of abundance, and you know, you get out of that bathtub, or after you dunk yourself with your bucket, you immerse yourself with your bucket, and you get out of that tub. You know, did you catch what Akoy said? He said, yeah, make sure that you don't wipe yourself off with your towel. Just pat yourself. And I thought about coming out of that tub, and it's like some of those science fiction movies where you see like this force field around you. That came to my mind. I don't know if it came to anybody else's mind, but that's what came to my imagination, is I saw this force field around me. It's like this shiny force field. It's like, remember what I talked about last Shabbat? How we talked about the, you know, the pre-garden mode before the fall, the pre-fall. Before the fall, we're all in this garden, and we're clothed with like this force field, this line, and I saw this like golden like line around me. And when I call you, say, yeah, make sure that you don't wipe yourself dry. You just pat yourself. Yeah, because you don't want to take the force field off of you. That field, that energy field, that's actually force. It's a vibration. You see? See, that's what's gonna see. The earth already has this. Mother Earth has this. So now you have it, and guess what? Things are going to be attracted to you. Things are going to be manifested your way now. You understand what I'm saying? Things are going to be so because now you're a part of it, and you're not disconnected. You're not plugged in. The harmony. The God of Israel knew with the children of Israel. No, I cannot do this quickly. This is going to take. Let harmony flow. See, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to interrupt that nice symphony that's playing, a nice orchestra. We don't ever want to interrupt that. You don't want to interrupt that. You want to keep that frequency. You want to keep that flow. Keep it going. So I'm not going to just, you know, slam, bam, thank you, ma'am, take them out of here, put you in there, bada boom, bada bing, everybody's happy. We live happily ever after, everybody's full of joy, everybody's full of peace, everybody's full of love. No. This has to in a systematically type way. Systemic. Same way with you. Don't get discouraged because you're like, Rabbi, I'm doing this, but I'm doing it, but I don't see anything, or I'm doing it and just like my manifestations, they're not happening like I want. Listen, you know what? This is one of the biggest things why. It's because of your time element. You need to get rid of time. Time is an illusion. And you need to say that and make time an illusion. Once you do that, then you can't say, well, oh, Rabbi, I've been doing it, because you're putting a time factor in there, you see? Because the mind, to keep it running efficiently, it has to deal with time. Remember, we talked about that. Either the present, or either the past, or the future. It has to deal with it. Because when it's present, wait a minute, this is the present. What about in the future? What about the oh, you see what I mean? Time limit, you got to take it out. Take it out. Delete. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. Just think about the harmony and the flow. And when the universe is ready, then it'll happen. Because, you know, I think that the Hebrews, they could have been taken out of Egypt and right into the land flowing, milk and honey, just like that. Boom. Okay, it happened. Blah, boom, bada, bing. But there has to be, you know, again, and this is where we are today. Many people want to see the land. They want to go back to the land. They're manifesting, they're manufacturing manifestation of a back to the land exodus and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. I can tell you for the most part, the people that have left North America and went back to Israel, I can tell you for the most part, they're not happy. They're definitely not happy. They're not living in infinite abundance. Blessings are not flowing from them in the land of the milk and the honey. Why is that? Any of you know anybody personally that's there living in Israel today and that they're very happy? They're telling you that they're happy, that they're, you know, making six figures and they have the big house and The nice shiny car there in Israel and the land flowing with milk and honey. Any testimony to that fact? But I guarantee you, you can find testimonies to the opposite fact as well. People over there that get segregated against, you see. They're being discriminated against. They're living off the social services. That's not infinite abundance. And see, that's what you must be mindful and be careful of. You don't want to, you want to not use time. See, these are people that accelerated time. They said, no, we can't wait. See, time for them was a factor. You need to factor out time. But many people tell you today, time is money. Factor in money. Time is this, time is that. Time is irrelevant to me. I had to get to that point because I was one of them time savers as well. But you got to understand, I'm learning to live in the I-do mode. I'm learning just to live in the now. See, because when you live in the now, you take time out. I hope you all are starting to begin to understand this, or trying to understand this, you see. You just live in the now, in the I-do. In the I-do time, in the I-do stage. That's your default. I do. Now. That's default. But for a lot of us, we're going to have to work at that. And just like we're told in our books, is that Exodus 23 and verse 30, little by little will I drive them out from before you, until you have increased and you inherit the land. Little by little, you need to drive out those thoughts, those negative feelings, those negative forces, little by little. And that's how it's going to happen. Yael, woman of the tent, as she sees happening with her family. Her family not bada boom, bada bing, come back to Torah, coming back to the I am mode, coming back to infinite abundance, coming back to understanding of the universal laws, the perfect law. No, it's going to be little by little. Understand that. Don't put a time on it. Notice, the God of Israel didn't say, okay, in this time, this is when it's going to happen. No time limits. See, we need to take time and put it take time out. Wow. Isn't that what they say around here for punishment? Oh, you're going to time out. Time out is actually a good thing. Little Johnny, you've been very bad. I'm going to put you in time out. You see, because they want to place the value of time. They want to tell you that time is valuable. What time is not valuable? You don't have to value your time. You just have to, what do you do now? What are you doing now? That's what's valuable. Now. What are you doing right now? That's what's important. What are you doing at present? Now. At this moment. I'm telling you, we are really going back to the default settings that were given to us. We're super creatures, human beings are. We're super creatures that have just been watered down by thoughts, by ideology, by the mind. Now we're coming back and we're going to take control of this great tool, our mind. And don't let our minds control us. But actually use this tool, use the mind for infinite abundance. Use the mind to manifest, of course, magic, whatever you call it, in your life. The mind is a great tool. You might be saying, well, Rabbi Kefa, why are you sitting here putting down your mind? I'm not putting down your mind. And in no way but it's just how you use the tool. How many of you know? I mean, I'm here in Texas. We love our guns here. How many of you know? You know, a gun is a great tool, right? A gun can be used. It can be used for good things, but also a gun can be used for bad things as well. You need to see your mind as the same way. Your mind is like the atomic bomb. It's like it's powerful. A powerful tool that can be used to destroy, but also it can be used to bring infinite abundance. So the question that you need to ask yourself today, and I mean, I'm pretty sure you go back and you meditate, you go back and you ponder on your life, you just look back, you do a backtrack, and you say, well, how have I used my mind? Ask yourself that question. Well, what has my mind done for me? And for the most part, you'll realize that your mind has played a lot of tricks on you. Your mind, because you didn't take the time to think, you just went with your mind. You just went with your mind. You didn't take time to think and to really think things through, to really look at things with the bigger picture. Maybe because, you know, at the time you were immature, inexperienced. You didn't know any better. You were just ignorant, let's face it. But you see, and Baruch Hashem, and thank you to the Master of the Universe, and to the God of Israel. Do you see now the understanding that you're getting now? My goodness! You're going back to the default setting. I call it the pre-fall setting, before the fall settings. That we can do, we can be, we can have anything that we desire. Could you imagine? And you don't have to imagine that you get to the point that you can just pick from the tree, and whatever you take from that tree, it'll be whatever you want it to be. However you want it to taste. Think about that. That's how you can. You say, wow, that was some great stuff back then, Rabbi. No, that's now. You can pick from your tree anything that you desire. What do you think is a house on your tree? What do you have? A car on your tree? Do you have money on your tree? Well, Rabbi, there's no such thing as a money tree. Yes, there is. Who told you there's not such thing as a money tree? You can have you can be a money tree. You see, your mind will come in and tell you these things. Oh, there's no way that can happen. There's just no way. Why? Because your thought process is all wrong. You're still stuck in mind mode instead of the I am mode. You want to be a money tree? You can be a money tree. You are a money tree now. Yes, it can happen. So you can begin to pick from these trees, and they can be anything. They can taste like anything you want them to be, you want them to taste. Imagination, you got to begin to use this. Your mind will tell you not to imagine. You're going to find this out. How many of you, now that you're starting your dream board, your vision boards, that your mind is starting to tell you, man, how many of you are starting to see that? How your mind is playing tricks on you, but you're catching it. And you say, no, you're correcting it. You say, no, don't discourage you. How many of you are going through that now? Believe me, that's going to happen. That's when you know you're living outside of your mind. Because you're doing it in your mind and say, no, ain't no way. It ain't going to happen. You're doing this foolishness. What do you mean take a bath? You need to be saving your water, man. You need to take this bath, man. You know how much water. You see what I'm saying? That's your mind. But see, now you're starting to imagine your imagination side as you dusting the cobwebs off the imagination side. You see what I mean? Now you're starting to see how your mind really operates. And now you can begin to control it. And say, no, mind. You're a great tool, and I'm going to use you for this. I'm going to use you to bring infinite abundance, not to be sitting here, putting down these positive things and positive forces and positive vibrations that are coming my way, this positive energy. No, I'm not going to allow you to be a blocker. No, you're going to be an enabler of energy, of positive energy, an enabler of positive vibration. Wow. And you're going to help me reel it in, as Rabbi Zachariah says. You're going to help me reel in my manifestations, my visions, and my long-term dreams. You're going to help me reel those in, because you're great. You're super. You're a great tool at my disposal. You begin to put mind in its place. Take time out of it. You got to take time out of it. Because your mind will begin to say this. Oh, man, you've been doing this for X amount of weeks, and look, still nothing. You see, what is that? That's the time factor. The mind, that's one of the greatest weapons that he'll use against you. Your mind. He will use time. Oh, that's never going to happen. Oh, look how long you've been doing this. You see, how many of you that's been happening to you already? Take time out of it. You got to say, mind, you're going to a timeout. Time does not even mean anything to me. Do you think the God of Israel is waiting on time to bring his people back into the land? Is he waiting on time? I submit to you, no, he's not. He's not waiting on time. He's waiting on Israel to get into the I am mode. Listen, he's waiting on this time. Listen to what he says here. In Exodus chapter 23, verse 30. Little by little will I drive them out from before you until you have increased. He's waiting on you to increase. He's waiting on you to increase. He's waiting for you to come into the infinite abundance mode. You see? You see, remember, we talked about this. You have to have a proper mindset before you can see the land. Physically, your mind has to be right. That's where we are right now. Why do you think the Kohen is telling us and teaching us about all these things? These techniques about how to do what? How to deal with our inner man, our inner being, the I am within us. Because we have to increase in that aspect. Oh yeah, okay, you physical Israel, now what? Oh yes, you realize that you're Israel, now what? You see what I mean? Now what? Now you must begin to deal with the inner man. Now you must become Israel on the inside. Outside, you know you're Israel. Hidden to be braced closer, told you you're Israel. You realize you're Israel. Descendants of Abraham, stars of Abraham. Like the stars in the sky. Baruch Hashem, that's the Jesus of Israel. Baruch Hashem, that's the God of Israel. Now what? Outside knows, but now we have to deal with the inside. Because the inside is still telling you you're nothing. You're not going to be nothing. You're going to be poor. You're waiting on your 40 acres and a mule. Blah, blah, blah. You're never going to have this. You're too black. You're too brown. Your hair is curly. You need straight hair. You got to grow dreadlocks. You see what I'm saying? This is all mind mumbo jumbo. Oh, you don't have enough time. You're too old. You're too young. You're too middle-aged. Boy, the mind will throw it all at you. And then what do? You throw it right back at the mind and say, look, don't have time for that anymore. I'm at another level now. You see what I just said? You don't have time for that. You don't time. No time. No time. You're present. What do you do when you go to class? First thing they do, you sit in the classroom, the teacher does what? She checks for attendance. And she says, Billy? Billy will say what? He'll raise his hand and say, here. Sally? Raise your hand and say, here. Or, Sammy? He'll say, oh, present. What you want to be is present. When the teacher, the master teacher, is doing roll call, you want to be present. You don't want to be in the past, and you definitely don't want to be in the future. You want to be present, right? I want to be present. I want to be in the now. I want to be in the I do mode. That's the now mode, Mishpatim. That's now. How many of you want that? You have that within you. The I do. The now mode. It's here now. Now you have it. You've been given great instruction on what to do with it. Because that same pattern is going to play out the exact same way. Little by little, Israel's waking up out of her slumber in the nation. Now, but you see, we can't go back until increase. You see, what good is it to wake up physically, but still be in a supine? Oh, and now, no offense to those of you who are in a, I'm not trying to shame you and put you down. But you know what I mean? Israel now has peace. Israel now and the nations must live in infinite abundance. Ukashim, Master Jesus of Nazareth. Believe me, that's the pattern. And this is why you're learning these great techniques and these great strategies you're going to incorporate, and now these things are going to become a part of your life. Just like this is part of our way of living. This is how we live. I want you to go back and read the Akedah again. You go back and look at what happened between, conversation between, Isaac and Abraham. Awesome. Isaac is asking all these questions, and Abraham, he's like saying, well, where we don't have nothing to sacrifice, and do you see what Abraham does? Abraham actually manifests. He manifests what's going to be. Oh, don't worry, son. There'll be a ram will be provided. Don't worry. The animal will be provided. You don't even worry about that. Do you see what he did? See, if you're clued up, like you all are getting clued up, now you realize that, Abraham manifested what was going to happen to the T. He manifested it. Abraham said, I do. He said, I do. God wants me to do this. I do. I do. Take your son. I do. Son asking questions. Son, don't worry about it. So you see, you will manifest your situation. This is why it's so very important. You'll manifest your manifestation. Your magic is only being manifested by you. You manifest the magic, the manifestation. This is why it's so very important. You must have the mind in check, and you must understand that the mind is a great tool. And don't let the mind manipulate you. Let the mind manifest for you. It's a great tool to help you manifest as you begin to use your imagination. How many of you in this room, your imaginations, now that you've been listening to the Kohen and this great understanding about our I am, how many of you, your imaginations have improved? Like you can imagine, it doesn't take, before maybe you had a hard time, like, well, how do I imagine? Well, what does imagine? Now your imagination is just flowing. It's just like, you can imagine things that and you see things and now you're calling it in, and you see it just like it's real and tangible, like you could touch it and you could feel it, and it becomes a part of your being. My goodness, see, now you're on the road. You see, Baruch Hashem, Master Jesus of Nazareth, for that. You're dusting the cobwebs off your imagination. My goodness. This is beautiful stuff, Mishpatim. This is awesome stuff. Now you're going back to default. You're going back to the default. Default settings for human beings, for God's creations. This is beautiful. See, when you begin to do these things, they will become enhanced. Little by little, they will become even more enhanced. You think you're there, you're just getting started. And when you think you're there again, you're still just getting started. Oh my goodness, that's the beauty of it. You never reach a plateau, because this is infinite abundance. You never reach a plateau. You never plateau out. You never do. These teachings some may consider radical, but no, it's not. These are just peaceful, calm, stress-free things that you can do. And the majority of it is you do this and it's free. Yeah, you may have to spend you may have to circulate a little money here and there to buy the necessary tools that you need to begin to help you develop into who you really are, the I am. But my goodness, is it not well worth it? Such a great investment. Your return on investment is, my goodness, it's amazing. Your return on investment of you circulating, into this world instead of circulating out of it. Because the circulating out of the world, where you see that? And I'm not biased to any continent, but the continent of Africa is one that they circulate out. They don't circulate into the world. They circulate out. All they want is, oh, gimme. I just want you to give it to me free. How can you circulate into something? How can you keep the harmony going? Africa is just a shell of itself. When you really sum it up in a nutshell, how is the richest continent in natural resources have the poorest people? I don't understand that. Because the harmonics are not right there. Harmonics is all thrown off. That's why. Because they have the motto, oh, just give it to me. They're not wanting to circulate anything into the harmony of this great earth. That's why America is so great and getting greater. It's because Americans know how to circulate. They'll circulate into the harmony. They'll give you of their time, as they call it. They'll give you of their monies. They'll give you of their abilities. They'll do these things. And this is what makes America such a great superpower, is that these things. And America will continue to be such a great superpower because they continue to do these things. So you must understand this, is that little by little, you're coming back into your I am mode. Little by little, you begin to, things will become even more enhanced for you to where, you'll start to be able to manifest like nothing, like no man's business. You start to be able to call it in, it'll come in. Because now you're connected to Mother Earth in such a mighty, mighty way that nothing can stop you. There is no stopping you. You're unlimited. When you begin to understand these, imagine this and make this part of your coin. You are love. You are peace. You are joy. I am joy. I am love. And I am peace. So you are. And the rest is commentary. And believe me, it is. Because, but again, these are things that we must learn because we've been unlearned. We've been unlearned. And you listen via YouTube, you just been unlearned. There's a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo out there on YouTube. That's just not, it's not worth its weight in gold. Much less in silver. It's not worth its weight. And why? It's because, you look at your lives and how has it benefited your life? What has it done for you? You put it on the positive negative scale, see where you stand. Then you realize, oh, it's within me. I have to get back to who I am. I have to get back to who I am and not what my mind is telling me I am. And not what I've been taught that I am. No, I have to get back to my I am. Default setting. Default thinking for I am is what? Infinite abundance. That's the default. Not no lack, no depression, no stress. The default setting is infinite abundance. Abundance in love. Abundance in peace. Abundance in joy. Wow. And that's not high Pascal, that's the now. Present. Roll call comes in, I want to be accounted as present. Because I do. I do. Our ancestors, the Hebrews, they said, I do, I hear. Collectively, they said, we do, we hear. but each and every individual man in that camp said, I do, I hear. I'm in the now. Now let me hear what I'm supposed to do in the now. You see that? Take that model and run with it. You take that template and put that in your computer as the default. I do. That's now. That's right now. You do now. Action of doing now. And now you've been given, my goodness, and you're going to continue to be given great instruction. And you're going to start seeing, and I encourage you all, please send us in your testimonies. Please send us in your testimonies to add to that big fire, to add to the energy ball, the high frequency ball of infinite abundance. You need to add to that. You say you're part of the family, then you need to add to it. Well, Rabbi, mine is just such a little... No, you see, there you go. There your mind goes. You see, because there's nothing like motivation. There's nothing in the world like motivation. And hearing it working for others or even working in your life, well, mine's just a little tiny. No, it's not. That tiny can turn into a big. A penny can turn into what, $1. Then $1 turns into $20. $20 turns into $100. You see? So don't ever see it as, oh, mine is just so small, Rabbi. Think about that. So the little by little principle. Don't worry about time. Time will take care of itself. Time doesn't apply to us. We live in the now. Stay in the now. Stay present. Stay in the present. What do you want now? Not, well, what I had or what I'm dreaming of in the future. No, the future is now. What do you want now? All you have to do, stay in the now and reel in the now. And Mother Earth will help you reel in the now. Because guess who's Mother Earth connected to? Mother Earth is connected to the universes. So believe me, you can't break the chain. And this is why a lot of, religions out here, they still waiting on their so-called breakthrough. They'll tell you, oh yeah, I'm still waiting on this breakthrough. Well, you got to get connected to Mother Earth. Mother Earth is connected to the universes. Your breakthrough will happen. That's when it's going to happen. But there's been a connectivity issue. There's been a disconnect. Truly, from the God that Abraham knew. The God that Abraham knew, I tell you, if Abraham was walking the earth today, he'd be scratching his head like, what the heck is this stuff? What the heck is this mumbo jumbo? God is not in this. The God that I made the covenant with, he's not in none of this mumbo jumbo. The God that talked to me and Sarah is not in none of this mumbo jumbo. This is foolishness. This is not the way of life that I had. So you descendants of Abraham, consider that. Believe me, consider that going forward. And all you have to do is really, let's face it. I mean, there are some people that are not affiliated with the covenants of the God of Israel, yet they've gone back to the universal law and are quite successful. Kohen has mentioned to you that there's billionaires and millionaires that utilize the principles, yet they're not in covenant with the God of Israel, but yet they're millionaire and billionaires. Why? It's because they've gone back to the universal principles, the universal laws that don't discriminate. They don't put you in somebody's class. Oh, what are you, Catholic? Are you Christian? What are you, non-denominational? Are you Presbyterian? They don't time for that mumbo. These are universal laws. Laws of the universe. And people on this earth are connecting with Mother and are being blessed and benefited abundantly by that, you see. You think about that. Because I know a lot of you at one time or another had this question. Well, I'm Israel. How come all these other people blessed and I'm not blessed like them? Because they are using the universal principles, the laws of the universe. They're using them. While the so-called Israel is still caught up in religious mumbo-jumbo that is not recognized by the God of the universes or Mother Earth herself. He's like, what is this? What is this? This is why if you're here to connect to a religion, you're in the wrong place. But if you're here to understand what the God of the universes, the power master of the universe, aspires and desires for your life, the right place, and just try to have abundant of a life of infinite abundance. Believe me, you're in the right place. You can lay your hat here, pitch a tent, build a foundation, put a house on it. This is where you need to be. This is exactly where you need to be. And truly begin to deal with that, begin to deal with your mind and put your mind in check. Because there's nobody that's deceiving you bigger than your mind. There's nobody else. There's no bigger stumbling block. There's no bigger blockage than your mind. Your mind is trying to prevent you from imagining. Your mind is trying to keep you in time mode, in a time capsule. Oh, let's go back and reminisce on what happened back then. Oh, or let's worry and think about the future and what it's going to entail. Oh, I want to live in the present. And you need to tell your mind, I am presence. I live in the present. I am now. I am now. My life is now. Now. At this moment. Recondition that mind. And then use that tool. Disconnect yourself from the mind. And then use the tool, the mind tool, to help you manifest and bring the magic to you. How many of you want the magic? I hear in these romantic movies, two women, they're sitting together, they're talking about their relationships with their husbands. They say, oh, we lost the magic. You want to bring the magic back. Not only in the kitchen, in the bedroom, but you want to bring the magic back in the whole of your life. You want to bring in the magic. You can do that. You can do that. You can bring in the magic. You can circulate great things for yourself. Once you begin to see, what a great lecture I go and gave one. I like that problem with circulation. Now you must begin to circulate new blood. As that old blood is pumped away by the veins, the arteries, going back into the heart. Now, when you do your meditation, see that new blood coming in, filled with the new oxygen, and it's going through your arteries. I remember I worked in the hospital on the burn ward. I worked there for 4 years in the Army on the burn ward, and we pick up burn victims from all over the world, bring them in and put new skin on them. We were putting pig skin on them at the time. That was the thing. We put pig skin on them to replace their skin that was burnt away. And, some of these people coming in, 50-70% of their body just burnt up. Babies coming in, their bodies burnt up because their moms are on crack cocaine and they put their babies in scalding water. I don't know how that happens. But anyway. So we would have to get blood work drawn on them every day. And I was what they call a vampire. I got this assignment for a couple of months where I would draw blood. I would have to draw blood from these people that didn't have any skin on them anymore. You're literally seeing, their muscle tissues and all that. It's really cool. I don't mean to make gore anybody at this moment, but I want to get to this point. Well, when I used to draw the blood, we'd have to do arterial blood sticks. So what I couldn't stick into the vein. I would have to get the blood from an artery, and normally my favorite one was the femoral artery. So I would take it from the femoral artery, and I would draw that blood. And the difference between blood from an an artery and from a vein is, I noticed that the blood that from the artery, my goodness, it was real dark. Darkish, reddish, red, dark. Because it was filled with the oxygen. It was oxygenated blood, right? And I'm looking at this blood, and it brought to mind, Israel, and how blood is just as red. So when you circulating in that new blood, and I'm thinking like, wow, that blood is mighty dark, opposed to as when you get it from veins, it's kind of bright, a little redder. So I'm looking at this, and I'm like, man, the circulation of that new blood coming in, filled with oxygen. That's going to go and be distributed throughout all of your body. Throughout all of your body. So that's what you want. You want to reestablish that new blood circulated in you, the new higher frequency, the new thought process, the new imaginations. All of that takes place within yourself. And you can see it happening within your inner man. And you can actually feel the change. And you can imagine, and you can meditate, and you can see these things happening, and you can envision these things happening before your very eyes. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Because you want to get that new blood in it. You don't want to circulate old blood. You want to circulate in the new blood. You want to keep it flowing. Remember we talked about the harmony. How the earth is in harmony. And everything within the earth is in harmony. It's when you try to break that harmony that things can get destructive, chaotic, and like our President Trump likes to say, it can become a disaster. So we want to prevent against disaster, destruction, disharmony. We want to keep things moving. And this is why the perfect law and the universal laws that are out there, you go back to these laws, you cannot go wrong because these laws are the default setting. Understand that going forward. So I think I'll wrap it up for today. My lecture was about the I do part. The I do. Staying in the present. Staying in the now. Our forefathers said I do. You need to be saying I do today. When you feel like you're drifting back into the past or you're drifting into the future, say I do. And that'll put you back into the now. I do. That's now. That's like right now. I do justice. You do it now. You don't want to do, you put yourself back into the I do. I do. That means now, right now. What is my situation right now? See, you got to begin to deal with your mind. Your mind is telling you that, oh, let's go back into the time capsule. Let's dig up that time capsule and talk about the past. Let's fast forward the time capsule and create a fictitious future for yourself to where you're not going to be nothing because you came from nothing, so you're not going to be nothing. Let's put ourselves present. Put ourselves present. Forget about time. Be present. Be in the now. Be in the I do mode. I do. You do that, and you're doing. See, because then your mind can say, well, you're never going to be nothing. No, I'm doing now. Well, you never was nothing. No, but I'm doing it now. Now I'm doing. I am doing. Because I live in the now, I live in the present. The future will be the now in the future. Think about it. The future will be the now in the future. And the past was the now in the past. It was the now. You see, so this is how your mind plays tricks on you. It wants you to live outside of present. You see it? The past was the now back in the past. The future will be the now in the future. We just need to learn to live in the now. And we cover all bases, right? Live in the now. Live present. Live now. But your mind wants to take you to places that you cannot see or that you've seen in the past and you don't like. and that you give you depression and stressing you out because you can't forecast. Your mind will tell you can't forecast the future, and you definitely cannot go back and change the past. So why you even think about these things? Just live in the now. You see how your mind wants to Hollywood wink you? You cannot live a life of abundance if you're not living life of abundance now. Infinite abundance, I want it now. How many of you want infinite abundance in the future? How many of you want infinite abundance in the past? No, I want infinite abundance now. Sir, I'll take now, Alex, for 500. Now. So stay in the I do mode. Remember, you're covenant people. Remember who you are. Now. Think about it. Our forefathers were covenant people. We see this marriage made with the creator of the heavens and the universes. But you're married to the creator of the heavens and the universes now. You're contractual, you're covenant people now. You see? Just now. Right now you are. In the present. Well, people say I'm not Israel. So what people say? You know who you are now. But too many times, here we go. Now we're worried about what other people think. I can give a flying flute what other people think because I live in the now. I know I am now. Wow. Wow. So utilize the tools and strategies that Hakohen has given you. For those of you who may have come late, make sure that you request the meditation audio. Please request the meditation audio. Simha, please type in the website for this lecture. I lost it. Oh, it's on YouTube, Simha. Simalt, SIMALT, call sign YouTube. Call identifier on YouTube. It's all on YouTube now. For the email, you know his email. For those of you listening via MP3, listening on the YouTube, Shimoon63 at yahoo.com. That's SIMOUN 63 at yahoo.com. You get that meditation. Meditation audio will truly help you. I have it, and believe me, I'm using it. Because I am and I do. I'm using it. These are great things. My goodness. Awesome things. It's going to help you. It's going to help your life. It's going to help your I am. You see? It's going to help your I am. So on that note, I'm going to wrap it up for today. We'll leave you to your families. And a great manifestation. And bringing on the magic. Bring the magic back into your relationship. Bring the magic into your finances. Bring the magic into your health. Bring the magic into your wealth and your prosperity. Bring in the magic. Bring it in. Oh, Rabbi, that's magic. So what? Call it what you want. Manifest what you desire for yourselves. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't, because you can. You have the I am. You are the I am. Okay, on that note, we'll leave it open. Any questions? Please ask questions, because the only dumb question is the question that wasn't asked. Ask the question. Ask whatever question that you need to ask, and believe me, we're here to answer them. The Kohen will answer them, and he'll take you to another level with some of his questions as well. So on that note, we'll wrap it up, and we'll turn it back over to our Kohen. I wish you all a wonderful Shabbat, a wonderful 6 days of labor as well. Shabbat Shalom and Shalom Shalom to you, wherever you may be in this world.
Okay, Toda for that, Rabbi Kefa. Those of you who wanted the YouTube address to the lectures afterwards, I'll say it out loud. www.youtube.com/simalt, SIMALT. That's www.youtube.com. Sierra Indigo Mike Alpha Lima Tango. That's Sierra India Mike Alpha Lima Tango, Sim Alt. If you type that in, that will take you to the lecture address. After the lectures are recorded, they all go up on YouTube, and you can download them from there. And hopefully all the instructions have been given. Some of you asked for the audios. I already sent them to you. I already sent the audios to the majority of the rabbis. That you already got the audio in your email. If you check, you should have the audios. If you are missing, let me know. I can send them through, not a problem. The audio has been nicely done for you, and I encourage you to use it daily. Use it daily in the morning. When you wake up, you have your tea. First thing you should do is put this audio through meditation. And last thing you do is you do the meditation again. And then you have time to do the rest of your top 3 goals, visioning exercise that you've been explained plenty of times over here. Then now you should be pros. You should all be professionals at it. And you should all be doing that. And you should be reporting in. You should be reporting in miracles that are beginning to occur in your life, and you will see miracles occur in your life even more so after you run through this. But I want to say one thing to some of you. Some of you are still living in the past, and I need to make this very pertinent and very clear. You do not live in a nation and curse that nation. I want to make that 100% clear. To those of you who live in North America and continuously you are using disdain, negative language towards this country. By the way, I'm an immigrant. I can say this. I'm not native of this land. So as an immigrant, I'm telling you that you do not live in a nation and continuously criticize it and say, well, the slaves built this nation and God is going to give us justice. That is your nonsense that you need to stop doing. This will not get you anywhere fast. It will only lead to yourself going nowhere. So you need to stop that, because the nation you live in, that very nation you have to pray for. And what does pray for mean? Pray for doesn't just mean that, oh well, we go to church on Sunday and we sit in our synagogues on Sabbath on Saturday and we just say a prayer. Lord God, give us, give this nation good leaders. That is not prayer. Prayer, as I explained to you in previous lectures, is to do with the state of your mind. And if your state of your mind every day is, oh, this nation is no good, this nation is no good, where are you with your prayer life? Exactly. So you need to stop this nonsensical that I keep seeing in these particular lectures, that you are still stuck in the past. Oh, slavery, oh this, oh we built the White House, and forget that nonsense. Who cares what you built? You are here today to have an abundant and blessed life. And if you continue to dwell in the past, you will never see the future, because the future is right here, present. And Rabbi Kefa has told you, it's here, now. If I keep going back into 3,000, into 400 years ago what happened, I will never arrive at the present. I will always live in the past. So you need to live in the present time. Some of you are stuck in the past. So you really need to live in the present moment, and you need to give thanks. Be thankful for where you are. Because some of you don't realize the precious things that you take for granted. Electricity, flow of electricity regularly, ample water all the time on from the tap, faucets. Then you have amenities. You go outside, you got bathrooms, toilet facilities, restrooms everywhere. You do not get these facilities, by the way. If you haven't traveled, if you haven't gone out and seen how the third world countries live, most of the world out there is without water. They don't have gas. They don't have regular electricity. They are suffering. And what do? You live in this country. Oh, and what do? Oh, white man this and white man that, and I hate the Americans because they did this, they enslaved us. This is the kind of talk that I hear from people. You need to stop that right now. Because if you continue in that kind of talk, you're only putting yourself in the past, and what you're going to do is your mind is continue to live in hate, intolerance. And what I've taught you is to come out of those things. come out of those things of hate and intolerance, because they will not help you in your prosperity today. If you are here by the hand of God, it is a hand of God that we are all here, then we need to be thankful. Whatever nations we have been placed in, and we need to make the most of it. So I would highly encourage you to look back at your mentalities, because some of your mentalities need to be purged. They need to be purged from this garbage that you keep carrying on about the black man and the black white man and this man and that man, and before you know it, you're in the middle of a racial war. We're not here to teach racial warfare. And we're not here to teach the black man is more superior than the white and the white man is more superior than the black. We're not here for that. This is not the place. And this is not the place to discuss how America got here. Because everybody has their own ideas how America got here. Let us remember why we are here. Let us remember that the bottom line is not why America is great. The bottom line is, what do I need for my family to make my life better for them? I used to go to churches. Years ago, I would go to a church and I would open up a scripture. I would open up a verse in the book of Genesis, and I could spend a whole hour talking about that one verse and the Hebrew behind it and the characters and what they mean and what each character means and what's the spiritual meaning. But years later I realized that, okay, that may have been fascinating to some people, but what did the people get out of it in their personal lives? That's what I asked myself the question. I said, what did the people get out of it in their personal life? Did their salaries increase? Did their jobs go up? Did they get better homes, better cars? And the answer was no. Their personal lives did not increase, other than they were blessed at the time. And I was like, you know what? There needs to be a radical shift in the teachings. They need to be taught principles of success, abundance, infinite abundance, love and harmony that benefits their personal lives. Better homes, better lives, better families. That is the message of God. The message of God is not, let's take the word Bereshith, let's break away the bet, the ret, the Reshith and the Tav and all this, and this is what the Alif Tav means, and we can do that. But how does that benefit your personal life? Does that mean that you can have a better house tomorrow, a better car, you can have a beautiful wife, handsome husband? No, none of those things will occur, because we need to bring this information to reality. Where does the buck stop? And if the buck don't stop with your family being happy, then shame on you for not doing that. That's all I can say. Shame on you. You know why? Because you have missed the principles of our beautiful holy scriptures. The principles in our scriptures is not how great you are in speaking Hebrew and how great you are living in enslavement in Israel, in some part of Israel where you're treated like a fourth-class citizen. That's not the beauty of our scriptures. The beauty of our scriptures and our forefathers is, how successful do you live your life? How beautiful family do you have? Do they love you? Do you love them? And do you collectively represent God? That's where the beauty is. And until you get that point, you'll continue to live in a garbage mindset. And I've long left that garbage mindset. I'm not going to live there, and I'm not going to teach that either. So it's your choice. Your choice. Make a call for your life. Make a call that, because some of you come back with all sorts of funny stories, like Yemisia sent me an email. Yemisia, I hope you don't mind me sharing this. You said that, you heard from somewhere that the Hamites were white people. Now tell me, Yemisia, how does that affect your life if the Hamites were white or black? Does that change your life in any particular way today? Does that give you a better car? Does that give you a better family, a better home? Do you even care about? I don't even see why you care about such a stupid information. And it's not even true. The funny thing is, whoever is teaching this stupid information and writing it on the internet, it's not true. That's what I mean by garbage mindset. Remove your garbage mindset and bring it to a clean mindset. Ground yourselves. Ground yourselves and be right. Put your energy where it should be. Stop wasting your energy chasing after this man said that, and this fella said this, and what color was he, and what. You see, remember I spoke about this last week. What color hat did Jesus wear? Was it red or was it green? This is why I said it. My point, I had a wider point. Stop wasting time on foolish things that have absolute no relevance in your life. That was my point of mentioning Jesus' hat. Jesus didn't wear a hat. Jesus wore a turban. So, so here we go. So therefore, let us not chase after the foolish things, because they don't give us nothing. So we'll leave it at here, and if there's any questions, if you are not sure about something, please do ask, and we can all go our merry way and have a happy Sabbath, happy day today, and be very happy with our families. That's where we need to be. Happy lives. Just while I was Kefa was teaching, I had a call from the East, and I was attending to a call. Actually, I had two calls. One came from England, and the first call was obviously regarding a family situation where the husband doesn't really respect the wife. He earns money, he doesn't give the wife her due right, and the wife struggles and has been struggling for many, many years. And the husband just so hard-faced. He doesn't want to give all the money in the house. He belittles his wife. He calls, because his wife had birth in a certain way. She said she had given birth through cesarean, that he was always criticizing her about the cesareans. That why you had birth through cesarean, you cost me a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. This kind of talk. So I said to this particular woman, I said that this is not the way to live. If this is your husband, then this is the wrong way to live. You shouldn't do that. That's not very nice. If he is mistreating you like that, I said, you and your children need to make a stand for yourself. Because if you don't make a stand for yourself, you will continuously live in depression, anxiety, stress. You'll never have a happy life. So the bottom line is this: where are we with this whole scenario? So this is where we need to stand back, and I will teach the woman principles to help herself and help her life. But more so, when I'm with them face to face, it's easier to go through some principles. But you are not going to change people overnight. If somebody is cruel, you're not going to change that person overnight. The idea is not to change the person, but however, there are certain principles that can help. Revision will help, and I will have to teach this lady revision. But unfortunately, right now, it's very difficult to teach people when you're on the end of a phone, because they have been brought up in a Catholic-based indoctrination, and it's very hard to remove people from indoctrination. Some of you are stuck with indoctrination. Some of you are stuck with this indoctrination that you're black and you can't get ahead, and the white man is evil one. That indoctrination, some of you do carry, and I know that. So those of you who carry that indoctrination, I think it's better you remove it fast. Because that indoctrination will keep you held back. It's a seed of hate. That seed of hate will never let you get ahead. The moment you drop that seed, you see, it's a thought. A thought is what will drive hate. If you keep thinking a thought, and you keep dwelling on that thought, that will continuously generate hatred in you. You'll be punishing yourself with that hatred internally. Nobody else is the worst. I mean, you might say, oh, the British were really bad. The British, they enslaved India for 350 years. Who cares if they enslaved India or not, right? Because how does that help an Indian today? If an Indian continuously says the same thing, oh, we've been enslaved by the British for 350 years, and by the Portugal and by the Dutch, they enslaved us for 350 years. If they say that, how does that help India today? Does that make any difference to the Prime Minister in England? Does that give us sleepless nights to Theresa May? Oh, our four ancestors enslaved the Indians. How am I going to sleep tonight? You don't give a two damns about it. You don't give two hoots about India. So today, Theresa May is more interested in how to do business with India. She wants to extend a hand. Come, take our products. We want to do business with you. Buy our weapons, buy our cars. That's what Theresa May is about today. Theresa May is not worrying about what you think. Oh, the Indian man thinking, the slavery for 350 years, what am I going to do? I hate the British. No. The British did what the British had to do. We have to live in the today and now. And the Indians don't care about it any longer. Do you see an Indian bemoaning his enslavement? Indians are very happy in England right now. You go to England and you see almost every corner store in England is overtaken by an Indian. An Indian runs a corner grocery store in India, and probably in America as well. I went through Orlando, I went through New Jersey, and I found a lot of corner stores owned by Indians. And Pakistanis, of course. And Arabs, people as well. I didn't find a single black store in America that was owned by a black man. And I'm giving you the honest truth. I've been through at least 32 states. And I did not find a single store where a black man was operating it. I found Indians operating it, Arabs operating it, Pakistanis operating it. Why? Because most of you are stuck with this hatred. White man, white man, white man all the time. The same BS all the time. All the time the same. It doesn't go away. It needs to go away. It needs to stop. You need to come back into reality. Oh, absolutely, Adelia. Even in Miami Beach, Miami, I went over there, was a lot of Indian stores. So we need to stop with this. Stop with this and start living in the present, please. Stop the hatred. Start living in the present. Stop criticizing people of different skin tones because they are, different skin tone to you, and somehow they're lower and you are greater because you had a better skin tone and, you had a mighty empire at one time. Who cares what empire you owned one time? Rome owned a mighty empire at one time. Who cares? Do you think that the people in the East care about Rome owning a mighty empire? Do you think the Indians care? Do you think the Chinese care? Couldn't give two damns about it. Couldn't give two hoots in history. Done, dusted. Who cares about history? It's done. It's finished. End of. They want to live in the present. They want to make a mighty empire today. America wants to make a mighty empire today. America might give you the little history lesson about the empires, but Americans don't dwell on it, and they shouldn't. And that is the right way to deal with history. We don't dwell on history and continue to bemoan about the mighty empire of Rome. I don't see British people in England bemoaning, oh, how great Rome and splendor of Italy at one time and England and how great it was. No, they don't do that, by the way. Neither should we. Learn by looking at other people. Observe. You will learn a lot of things when you observe other nations. Jacob is saying that indeed, Hakohen, my great-grandfather grew up during Jim Crow and yet was quite successful as a businessman and landowner in nearly 3 states. He had a different state of mind. I'm trying now to inherit that state of mind. Todah for your teachings. Absolutely. You need to change your state of mind. When you change your state of mind to the present, you will no longer be wallowing in hate about the past. You won't be going around with placards, oh, the blacks built the White House. Who cares blacks built the White House or not built the White House? How does that help you and me today? That's the question we need to ask. If the blacks built the White House or the Chinese built the White House, how does that help me? Does that better my family today? Answer is no. So I couldn't care less who built the White House. I couldn't care less. I like to shake hands with the president though, today. I'll definitely do that because I respect the president. But I don't care who built it, by the way. That's the honest truth. So with that, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to love you and leave you. And have a great Sabbath, rest, and a great week ahead. You take care of yourself. Absolutely, Rabbi Kefa. You should care about who built your house. Absolutely. Take care of yourselves. Shalom, shalom.